sOs.
Something, have you ever felt like you were free? Like really truly let the moment take control and just be with there all out there telling you that we're just born to die and tell you something baby.
What's up guys? Welcome to the GSL Codex. We're finally in the round of 8. And I gotta say, I am hyped. I love when we get to this part of the tournament. We get to the moment where we have best of 5s. We get to see how much these guys can really prep, how much they know about the matchup in general, as well as how their opponent's going to play.
Yeah, it's such an exciting moment, like this part of the tournament. Everyone really turns it on. The championship is like within sight.
Yeah.
You win 2 rounds and you're in the finals. Like a GSL finals is a momentous thing for any career, no matter what you've done so far. So I agree with you. This is just going to kick so much ass, and especially like right now, we have a bunch of people that are vying for the last couple BlizzCon spots. We'll talk more about that a little bit later, but it's becoming a crazy race. And a bunch of the players that we're going to see today, 3 of the 4, need victories.
That's right, or they might not be at BlizzCon. Each of these guys, you know, we've been doing this show for about 7 years now, and each of these players has their own unique story, their own unique struggle. And it's going to be really cool to see how this unfolds, because there is so much on the line. By the way, the GSL 7th anniversary is coming up.
It's a wild thing. Make sure that you send birthday wishes, messages, photos, cheerfuls, whatever.
Please do this. We
GSL
will use
at AfreecaTV.com. And yeah, definitely do that. We're going to send out some prizes, some GSL uniforms. Nick and I don't even have GSL uniforms, so you're going to be...
That's right.
Africa's going to treat you nicer than us.
This is as close as it gets to our uniform.
Yeah, we don't get to take this home either. This goes back on the rack. You'll probably see us again in this in 3 years, and when we're doing the 10-year anniversary.
But definitely shoot some stuff to that email. Let us know what GSL means to you. Anything you want to share with us. We might just use it on the birthday of the GSL. It's going to be 7 years old.
Yeah.
What grade does that put it in now?
First grade.
First grade.
Yeah,
wow.
Just entering first grade.
Little GSL is growing up.
Speaking of which, GSL Super Tournament, the second one of the year, is occurring September 28th through October 1st. And this is the absolute last chance for people to qualify for BlizzCon, so it is really, really important. Of course, you guys probably tuned in last time where Hero beat Alive in the finals. It is a sick 4-day tournament. We have so many best of 5s. It's best of 5s the whole way.
That's right.
Best of 7 at the end, and it's like just 4 days of epic StarCraft 2. It's...
You guys do not want to miss out. The last Super Tournament we did, we had so much fun, Artosis. It was a real blast, a real special event.
Yeah. And by the way, that'll have seeds for the first and second place from this season, as well as 14 people qualifying into it. So that'll be great. Here's our bracket that you see right now. 2 of these players will end up being in the finals. Look at how crazy this is. Look at this. Innovation versus Beyond and Dark versus TY. We're going to see that on Saturday. Oh my God. Make sure that you watch that. But today is just crazy. Solar versus SOS. Rogue versus Stats. Wow.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
No, it's crazy. And looking at this bracket right now, so 3 players are completely locked for BlizzCon already. That would be Innovation, Stats, and TY. And then Dark is getting really close to a lock. It gets a little bit tricky to weigh out every possibility of everything, but that means that there's 4 players in here that need to do well, 3 of which we see today.
We're going to go take a look at a quick video, then we're going to get this show started. Stay tuned.
일단 너무 오랜만이라서 약간 얼떨떨하고요. 그래도 올라가니까 너무 좋네요. 연습 도와준 테란 선수들 같아요. 연습을 다 너무 열심히 도와주셔가지고 이렇게 올라갈 수 있었던 것 같아요.
우선 지난 시즌에 32강에서 떨어져가지고 너무 슬펐어요. 진짜 슬퍼가지고 한 게임 한 게임 최선을 다해서 여기까지 올 수 있었던 것 같아요. 옛날에 너무 많이 져가지고 안 좋은 기억이 많은데 오랜만에 만나가지고 그냥 좀 새로운 느낌?
옛날에는 제가 잘 이겼었죠. 유신이 형 뭐 한결같죠. 그냥 한결같이 이상한 거 하는 형이죠. 뭐 할까? 공격력은 한 B? 그냥 뭐 무난한 것 같아요. 토스 중에서.
공격력은 뭐 S죠. 그냥 몰아붙여서 돈 많이 먹고 많이 뽑아서 이기니까 S인 것 같아요.
수비력도 한 B 정도? 수비력도 역시 무난한 것 같아요.
수비력은 F죠. 공격은 진짜 잘하는데 그냥 게임 보면 툭 쳐서 억하고 쓰러지는 게 많더라고요.
전략성은 S죠. 토스 전략가 중에서는 김유진 선수가 원탑이 아닐까. 짜증도 많이 나죠.
B 정도 되는 것 같아요. 그냥 전략을 거의 안 쓰는데 막 한 번씩 막 군단 숙주를 섞는다거나 참신한 거 많이 보여주거든요.
피지컬 한 C 정도? 피지컬은 뭐 그렇게 좋다는 느낌은 못 받아본 것 같아요.
네, A 정도 되지 않을까.
멘탈은 한 A? 네, 이 형이 진짜 1억 방도 이기고 진짜 멘탈 자체는 굉장히 좋은 것 같아요.
멘탈은 별로 안 좋은 것 같은데 C? 작년이었나? 크로스 파이널인가? 거기서 박영우 선수한테 역수입도 당했거든요. 저는 역수입은 좋은 멘탈 아니면 잘 당하는 것 같아요. 역수입이요? 당해본 적 없는 것 같아요. 4대0 그런 걸로는 져봤는데.
총점은 B요.
B 플러스 그냥 저보다 요즘 잘하고 있으니까 수비력이 안 좋아서 A는 못 주겠어요.
유진이 형은 뭐 우주모함인 것 같아요. 저는 우주모함으로 멋있게 이긴 경기가 저는 기억에 많이 남아서 우주모함인 것 같아요.
군단 숙주. 올해 초에 좀 많이 썼었어요. 그래서 그 상대하기 굉장히 까다로워가지고 잘 쓰는 것 같아요. 진짜 오랜만에 만났는데 워낙 많이 져서 솔직히 큰 기대는 안 했는데 이렇게 올라가서 만나게 됐으니까 준비 그만큼 많이 해올 테고 서로 준비 많이 해서 명경기 만들어 보자.
유진이 형 오랜만에 만났는데 재밌게 게임했으면 좋겠고 4강은 제가 갈게요.
Okay, we're about to go into our first match. Interesting to see what their thoughts are before we get this started. We are going to have a quick interview in person here before the players head to their PCs, and we'll let you know what their thoughts are. Gary greeting the players on both sides. They're saying hello back.
이 자리에 올라온 강민수 선수입니다. 오랜만에
Solar.
오셨잖아요. 어떠세요?
You made it out of your group as first. Beating 3 Terrans, how do you feel going up against this Protoss?
자, 오늘 프로토스 전이죠. 아무래도
It's been a while to make it to the quarterfinals. I hope to get here more often.
패한 것이 생각이 날 수밖에 없어요. 오늘 이 상대로서 김유진 선수는 어떤가요?
You're facing off against the
유진이
Protoss.
형이 원래 올해 초에는
But you've also lost to players like Trap. How do you expect today's
최근에
games to go?
보니까 진짜 엄청 잘하더라고요.
잘해줬어요.
Well,
그래서 갑자기 연습을 엄청 많이 하더니 엄청 잘해졌더라고요.
SOS wasn't that strong at the start of the year, but recently he's been
김유진
gaining
선수도
momentum.
이야기 나눠보겠습니다.
I'm going to be cautious.
두 시즌 만에 왔거든요. 어떠세요?
네,
So you made it to the quarterfinals.
저번에 떨어져가지고
How do you feel?
이번에는 꼭 잘하자 생각했는데 그래도 다행히
Last season I was eliminated.
네.
I was hungry to get higher.
많이 아쉽잖아요.
I'm very happy to be here in the quarterfinals, but the quarterfinals for me is not good
상대
enough.
선수가 잘해서
I've trained really hard.
얼마나 할지가 궁금하네요.
오늘 연습 많이 하셨다고
But I'm also a little bit nervous to face off against a strong Zerg like Solar.
우선 팀원에 요즘
Curious, who did you practice with?
자기 입으로 자기가 원탑 저그라고 말하고 다니는
네.
이병렬 선수가 있어서
네.
그 선수랑 좀
My
많이 했던 것
teammates
같아요.
all view Solar as an absolute tip-top Zerg.
연습을 열심히
So I
하셨다고
practice this with my
합니다.
teammates heavily.
오늘 이 강민수
Rogue,
선수
excuse me,
좀
Rogue.
부담되지 않으세요? 그동안 너무 많이 얽혔잖아요.
네, 민수가 잘하는데
But you've had a long
이번에
history
연습도
with Solar in the past.
진짜 많이 하더라고요.
Do you
그래서
feel any
저도
pressure?
많이 했는데
He says, yeah, I
서로
feel that he's been
긴장만 안
practicing hard.
하면 좋은 경기
But I also
나오지
practice a
않을까
lot.
생각하고 있어요.
네, 자 오늘 사전 영상으로 서로에게
I think if
아주
I'm not too
짧은
nervous, we're
점수를
both gonna have great
주는
games
부분
tonight.
재밌게 잘 봤습니다. 서로에게 이렇게 B급, B 플러스급밖에 안
I
되더라고요.
watched the pre-interview
굉장히
for our
반가운 것
interview.
같은데, B급
It was really
쳐주세요.
interesting.
몰랐네요.
아니 뭐 저희가
SOS graded you as B class
둘다딱
or second class Zerg.
아, 둘 다 딱 어울리는 것 같다. 만족하셨어요, B 플러스?
네, C 아니면
He says that's good enough for me.
지금
두 선수 모두 이렇게 겸손합니다. 자, 오늘 승부가 날 텐데 이 승부 결과에
So
따라
it says
서로를
as long
A
as he doesn't give me a C, I'm
정도로
fine with that.
인정하실 준비 되셨어요, 혹시?
네, 네, 제가 지면 S입니다. 상대는.
S 이렇게
저도
이야기하셨는데
동감입니다.
오늘 경기 결과에 따라 서로를 S로 평가할 준비가 되어 있다 이야기해 주셨는데요. 자, 이제 절대 물러설 수 없는
So they said
승부입니다. 서로에게 한
essentially that,
마디씩
that quick back and forth is the
나누고
fact
시작을
that
해볼게요.
one of them,
먼저
whoever
강민수
moves
선수.
on, is going to be the S-Cast player no matter what. Anything you want to say to SOS before we start?
연습량 되게 굉장히
Well, you know I
많았는데
prepared really hard.
오늘 꼭 좋은 경기 해가지고 꼭 제가 올라갈 수 있었으면 좋겠어요.
네, 김유진 선수.
Since we've trained hard,
서로 연습 많이
I'm sure we're going to have some great games,
많아가지고
SOS.
좀 제가 이길 수 있을지는 모르겠는데 그래도 최선을 다해서
SOS, I train hard, but I also admit that you train hard as well. I'm going to try my show my
자,
best
오랜만에
regardless. We're going to have some great games
강민수 선수와
tonight.
김유진 선수 과연 4강에 올라갈 선수는 누구일까요? 지금부터 8강 1경기 시작하겠습니다.
There he says we're going to find out who makes it to the semifinals.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can see how these guys kind of have been climbing towards here. You see their WCS ranks. This is such a big story right now because BlizzCon is coming right up.
That's right. We
the
don't have any more opportunities to get to where they need to be in order to advance.
Yeah, the only points that actually remain in Korea is the finishing of SSL. And in their stats is already way up at the top, right? Deer is still in there, and he can't make BlizzCon no matter what. If he wins SSL and Super Tournament, he's still not going to make it.
Right.
And that's pretty unlikely anyways. Classic's in there. He is a very long shot, and then Dark is in there. And he's getting pretty close to just locking a position for BlizzCon.
That's right.
He's in 6th place right now in WCS standings. So SSL is not really super mattering on the points, which leaves us with this round of 8 and Super Tournament. Now, Solar, he's in 9th place. He's a little over 500 points below 8th, which is Byun. He definitely needs to win here. Like if he fails right here tonight and wins Super Tournament, maybe he can go to BlizzCon, right? But like, this is an important moment for him to move on. But more important is SOS. In 15th place, he is the lowest ranked player in Korea that can still make BlizzCon. But to make BlizzCon, he needs to hit top 2 here. If he wins, obviously gets the seed straight up, okay? But if he needs to get in on points, he needs 2nd place and to do really well in Super Tournament. So like, we need to see SOS go on a heater, and he did last year and barely didn't make it, right? Like, he got to the finals against Byun. If he had won that, he would have gone to BlizzCon and probably won, you know? Because that's what he does if he's in such a big money tournament. But, like, if SOS loses here, he can win Super Tournament and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he wins, and that's sick, but he doesn't go to BlizzCon.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as the final chapter of the year here in 2017, yeah, he will not be part of that. Although he might have his own personal victory if he were to win in that individual aspect.
I mean, it's always great to win a tournament, but
absolutely,
you want to be the world champion. You want to win 200 grand or however much it is now with that war chest money.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here. I actually do think SOS can still take this. I've off and on doubted SOS in the past and always been proven wrong. I think that he really is remarkably consistent. And when he needs to get through, he can.
Okay.
He does yo-yo back down, but always seems to come back up. Solar, though, does look very scary, and it seems like his play might just be more straightforward, solid Zerg. Sometimes that's the scariest play in all of StarCraft, is a very straightforward, good macro Zerg.
Yeah. He is a scary, scary player as well. And
SOS is crafty. That's what you got to love about him. He looks at the game a very different way. He seems to know, especially in a best of 5, by the way. I think SOS always has a better chance. The more games you give him, the better he seems to do in a series. Best of 3 is a different beast than a best of 5.
Yeah.
All right, our game's ready. Game number 1, Solar versus SOS.
2017 Hot 6, GSL Season 3, Code S.
In the upper right, in the blue, he is
Splice, Solar.
Oh, drinking his coffee. Drinking some nerd blood. In the bottom left, in the red, sending a probe out right away.
Jin Green Wings, SOS.
And he's going for gate gas right now. The probe does come out immediately and see the expanding hatchery.
Yeah.
I occasionally want to highlight stuff like this because sometimes SOS does something weird.
Yeah, if you send a probe out this quickly, like if you send a probe after Pylon on most maps that'll block the hatchery, not here, Mech Depot is like very, very long. So I think he was... I'm confused because I agree with you, like if you give him a series to prepare for in some time, like especially if it's a bigger one, he will come better prepared than anyone basically.
Wait, now he went, he didn't make a beeline to the expansion, did he?
I think that's the quickest route technically.
Is it? Okay.
I think it is, but yeah.
Wow, SOS, your evil cheese kingdom ends today.
Evil Cheese Kingdom.
Yeah. That in the
If you're playing
kingdoms
against
of-
him, that's what it feels like for sure.
Absolutely. So was that the straightest line he could have gone?
I believe it
to
was
get
because
there?
there's rocks on the straightest
Right?
path.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think.
I was just wondering because it seems like the probe was a few seconds late. Sometimes you want to arc the probe around so they don't catch it or see it in time. But yeah, is this a bad prep, Artosis? Because this
Yeah, I
seems
don't
like
know.
something you would have practiced 2 or 3 times and then known what to do. Unless he's looking for something else we don't know about.
Yeah, like I mean, obviously you are checking if they're doing any sort of early aggression, but generally Zergs won't do that too
Yeah.
much, and I think Solar definitely wouldn't do that too much. But it actually, like, I wasn't paying super duper close attention. Some people get their hatchery earlier than other people, so that could have been the case as well. Anyways, just throwing that out there that early scout didn't do too much for him. But he's getting good scouting done, did some harassment on the minerals, has an adept. Actually not sending it out, keeping it at home.
It looks like it was initially rallied out. The probe sees the third base now, so there's confirmation on the economic tempo here for the Zerg on where he's going to take this game. The Stargate coming up. And you're right, he only had that one adept out here. Now, okay, those adepts do not actually opt to go in.
He's playing a little bit defensive, making an Oracle at the moment, and adding some gas. Okay, so that's a little bit important that he's adding a third gas. A lot of times you'll expand before your third gas, but going to add both of them. So could see multiple Oracles. I do know some other servers are enjoying mass Oracle at the moment in this matchup, but whatever is happening, Solar's going to see it with his Overlord speed.
So, yeah, he gets confirmation on that Oracle. It's one Phoenix behind that. Which can be used to clean up the rest of the Overlords that are out on the map spotting here. For the time being, though, I think Solar's in a very comfortable spot. This is very much so like Solar wants to approach this game. Like any solid, really good macro Zerg that's going to build up to a key moment and try to crush his opponent, it's just about getting proper reads. You just need to know, okay, what are they up to? And when you get that read, you react perfectly, keeping the drone balance versus the tech balance and the attacking unit balance all set up. So 2 kills there, and the Oracle mostly only losing shields as it backs up.
Robo and Twilight at home here for SOS. We can't be exactly sure of what he wants to do. Looks like a drop Overlord being made.
This is an ambitious drop considering he did see the Stargate. But if Protoss isn't ready, it looks like he has this Phoenix down here at the bottom, but the angle that Solar wants to come in here is actually so obscure. I think this is going to work.
And he made it so far back. And with Overlord speed, like, he is absolutely going to get this out no matter what. The Phoenix very far off the mark. So this can do some serious damage. No vision here.
And the Mothership core is like way up north. At least for where the main base is. So he's going to lose a lot of workers, I think, over here.
All right, a quick response.
There's only one pylon power and everything as well, so that's something else that can become a factor here.
Oh, man, these probes actually doing a good job battling so far. He's got to be careful. Some of them starting to get very low on health. 5 going down.
Make it 6. More damage being dealt here. A lot of lost mining time as well. And Morlings come over here to this expansion. I'm assuming that the Mothership core is headed southbound right now to try to help clean up this mess, but it's going to have to go back up. Nothing can be mining over at this expansion for now. And this was a very big economic blow here for SOS. He's way thrown off tempo.
And not only this, like, there's nothing mining at the third base yet. His economy's hurt. He sees a Prism. He sees a Chrono Twilight. And he sees no Forge, right? So all of that kind of screams what SOS is up to. It looks like he wants to do a very powerful attack coming right up. And with 8 Roaches on the way, I can't really see this working out yet.
He's going to go for some Archons here to try to do some harass. We'll see. if that's going to be that great. I mean, granted, roaches and lings on the ground don't fare that well against Archons, but I think the real place we might want to be watching is not necessarily the drop, but the third base that Zerg's inevitably going to attack here.
Well, he'll defend for a moment. You have to against these Archons, but with the amount of roaches he's making and roach speed, that third base will get attacked eventually.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he's like forced a ton of overcharges out already, 2 or 3. So
yeah,
not much energy left. How do you just the unit set that we see SOS going for doesn't deal very well with roaches, and that's exactly why he's adding a second robo right now. He realizes that if he doesn't get a ton of immortals, he's in trouble. But of course, the counterplay to that is the Spire from Solar. So
exactly.
Solar looks like he has become ultra prepared.
Yeah, he just seems to know exactly what to do and then what the next steps are. He's already outmaneuvering his opponent tech-wise, which is really impressive, to be honest. He needs to, got to be careful. You don't want to lose too many of those. Now, this is not bad.
No, yeah, this is good harass.
Clogging up the income for some of these bases. But it seems like Solar's dealing with it, and this is not enough to even things out for sure.
Now, we saw Solar making a ton of moves, a ton of good counters, but with the harassment SOS is doing, he's making the roaches stay back with his Prism. He caught a roach drop that was coming in. He's harassing with the Oracle successfully. He now has double immortal production going. Psystorm almost done, and he has scouted the Spire. So, yeah, really, I'm getting chills right now looking at this, man. These guys are super prepared. They both know the stakes of this match.
Yeah, well, the pressure is really mounting right now. Immortals are coming out. He needs to have 3 or 4 of them to really combat those roaches because everything is pretty skimped back at SOS's base. But it seems like between the Oracle and some of that Warp Prism harass, Zerg has not felt comfortable moving out, but 8 mutas on the way.
Yeah. Those 8 mutas can be very scary, and he's even getting +1 attack for him.
Keep in mind, he wasn't making Phoenixes the whole game. I believe he still has that Phoenix somewhere on the map. Is that at the bottom center?
Yeah, he has. So. I think you're right.
But one Phoenix doesn't do anything against this many mutas. And in fact, the Zerg might bank up just the right amount of mutas and then blindside the main here of the Protoss, which is certainly a possibility.
Well, he's making Phoenixes, so...
oh, I'm sorry.
He realizes...
How many does he have now?
He should have... this is his second one,
okay.
I believe. And he's getting Blink. He's making some cannons. The thing is about mutas, you just don't want to over-counter them. If you over-counter them, that's how Zerg can win. A very light counter, have a few Phoenixes, micro them hard, have a couple cannons to make sure the mutas don't get free shots. Look, this is good. This is looking pretty good for SOS. He's taking his 4th base and everything.
It's a very fragile defense that SOS has. If he overextends it all with the Phoenixes, then the mutas get complete control here. Looks like he will unpower this one pylon. Nicely done. Just something to slow down the growth rate here for SOS. More Phoenixes coming out, and Solar is not slowed down on the muta production. In fact, he may gear up for a giant attack in just a second here. 184 supply. He'll be maxed out in under a minute. And I think that maybe when he decides to pounce on the Protoss' 4th base, it's under construction right now.
The Psystorm and Archons definitely can do a ton of damage to these mutas, so he has to watch out for that. But as long as SOS kind of sits back a little bit, and look at this Prism, even though he's going to lose it, just seeing that more than the initial group of mutas is being made, he adds a second Stargate immediately. That was actually very good for SOS that he lost his Prism.
Yeah, as funny as that is, it sounds weird, but one thing about Zerg is because they can, sit here on a bunch of hatches and suddenly make one of everything, or make all the larvae to just one unit type, right? You could try to throw the other player off. This Protoss is trying to really have a balanced army that can handle exactly what the Zerg's doing, especially after a big fight. You can end up remaking the exact units that are going to counter the remaining unit comp, and if the Protoss doesn't have that ready to go, ouch!
He's got to be Phoenix. Yeah, he's got to be really careful at that. 20 mutas are out right now, so 4 Phoenixes is very hard to actually micro against that. He's not getting range from or anything. He's got a lot of things he has to spend his gas on right now, so it's a hard choice on just how hard to counter everything.
It's kind of crazy because SOS basically has to babysit those Phoenixes the entire time.
Yeah.
If he miscontrols them at all.
It's so micro-intensive. If you don't have range, you have to be clicking them just non-stop.
By the way, these mutas still doing a ton of damage. Some Stalkers coming back here. Looks like he's going to deny the Dark Shrine. Okay, he's taking out 2 more Phoenixes, now retreating. The Zerg army is just outside of range here.
This is kind of funny. Look at these High Templars just sitting out in the middle of nowhere. Ooh, trying to set the trap right there. Doesn't quite get it. But a decent amount of Stalkers being warped in. This is one of the nicest things about going mutas, is forcing Stalkers out, because, like, Stalkers aren't terrible, but, you know, like, a lot of times what we would see in the past is Roach into muta, forces Blink Stalkers, and then Baneling just does well. Because, like, that's, it's not an optimal unit against that.
The Stalkers are something that can kind of help supplement the lack of Phoenixes, but you're right, they're terrible against Lings and Banelings. I mean, they're not shooting fast enough. There's too many targets for them to ever take that out. So it's a really easy way to clean them up. Now, that being said, SOS was never denied that 4th base. SOS is basically going at a rate that it seems like Solar has just had to respect throughout this game. We have a Roach counterattack coming up here. It appears, though, that SOS is basically ready.
Dude, this game is so well done by both sides. I love this. Look at his Solar right now. He's continuing to get upgrades, and he's starting to turtle a little bit while going towards Broods. And of course, he's kept his opponent busy so much. Look at that, another force cancel at Dark Shrine. But going into the Broods at the same time, Fleet Beacon coming up for SOS, so he is trying to counter that as well.
Okay, taking out a lot of these Mutalisks over here. In fact, the Stalker's here to help out. It looks like the Muta part of this game is basically done unless he remakes that 8 Broods, to what Artosis was saying, with a good amount of Corruptors. Zerg, again, easily going to remax, but this time possibly with a army composition that could be a real threat to the Protoss. The distance between the Protoss' 4th and what I guess that was the Zerg's 4th. I think the Zerg's 5th base is technically the one at the top. That's a small distance to push to. We don't see any real openings here that Protoss is set up to try to counterattack. There's 2 Warp Prisms on the way, though.
Yeah.
Does Zerg want to counterattack here before the Mothership is done?
Yeah, I think Zerg just wants to attack immediately, because once you actually have a decent amount of Tempest out, then the Broodlords are really, really trashy. But if you can hit when they're... Like, what is the counter that he has to Broodlords? He really doesn't have one. So if you can just reduce, like, the Immortals and the Archons, the rest of your army is going to clean up everything. So this is why SOS needs 2 Warp Prisms. He needs to split the army. Broodlords are a death ball composition, so if they're trying to attack you, you can hit elsewhere.
That's right. It's an interesting play where, because they're so sluggish, they can't occupy everything at one point in time, right? It's not like you have a bunch of really quick Hydras moving around on creep or something like that. And let's see if that's the play that he's going to go for there now.
Well, he caught 1 Prism, so that's really good, but the other one is making its way across the map at the moment. Still, he's not.
Zerg's still in the turtle position.
Yeah, it's.
I thought he was going to move out for sure. But.
I did too. But well, you can play a longer game with Broodlords. Like, you can make a comp that kind of holds up for a bit. But when you get enough Archons, Storm, and Tempest, man, does it become hard to beat Protoss late game. And that should be where SOS is headed.
We've seen a lot of games throughout the history of StarCraft 2 where they get a Broodlord army and, like, they can't be broken by the Protoss, but they also can't attack the Protoss. The Zergs can't attack the Protoss, and then the Protoss player just runs around sucking up all the resources on the map while Zerg's sitting on this unit comp that doesn't allow them to leverage the position that, or I should even say the advantage they got into earlier. But he's just going to double down on the Broodlords, and I guess he wants to try to have just some kind of insane push that comes through and litters the ground like locusts in the Bible, just coming through here with Broodlings just wiping out and consuming everything.
Do you want to hear the craziest thing you're ever going to hear?
What?
Locusts and grasshoppers are exactly the same animal. Environmental stressors cause grasshoppers to express different genes that make them into locusts.
Wow, I did not know that.
Wildest thing.
Oh, I guess it makes sense. Whenever I've seen locusts, they just look like
a brown grasshopper.
Yeah, I always thought that. I'm like, oh, okay. So
that literally is like a brown grasshopper. By the way, DT Blink is on the way. Just want to throw that out there, so that's kind of cool. Both sides have now realized that this game is going super late. Like, no matter what, it's just, that's the way it is. Get all your upgrades, continue on every tech route. Like, we even see Ultralisk upgrades on the way here with Chitinous Plating. You won't use that now, but it's one of these situations where, as Zerg, if you kill the right pieces of the army, you could use Ultras.
So he's actually okay hemorrhaging off some of these, Phoenixes in order to get some more of these Tempests out here later on, since that's somewhat of a response, a ranged response to this big, scary air army that Zerg has. But the push is now coming in. Are there enough Tempests, though?
I think there is. You know, he has the Archon, so if the Corruptors come too close and you get a few Archon hits off on him, they can all die very quickly, especially with Psystorm support. So as long as these Tempests are only shooting at Broodlords,
He's got to be careful.
he's
there.
good.
So many Templars on the ground here,
Yeah.
especially in fights like this. The Broodlords tend to bunch up. Very good responses here. You can see from Solar. He definitely knows how to keep things together back at home. We have Ultras, by the way, being produced.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like, Ultras can do okay against Archons. I don't really consider them good against Archons. I don't consider Archons good against Ultras. They're just both can kind of fight. And you don't really want Immortals in your army right now. He doesn't have many, right? Like, I think he has 3, maybe?
Well, a lot of times you want to dump them because they take up
late
so
game.
much supply, and if they have Broodlords, I mean, the Immortals are basically the worst unit against the Brood lane. Now, with all this said and done, Zerg is actually pushing through. He's taking out an extra base. But SOS is just expanding further over here to the top left.
This was actually, Solar did this push really well, considering.
Yeah, very good poke.
He broke enough and he didn't lose too much. He got like most of the Tempest there, but 4 more just popped out. This is just such a big economy game, and I mean, it makes sense. Mech Depot is one of these maps where you find it very hard to actually attack in your opponent. The map is so big, so long.
Okay, 2 more Ultras, 28 Zerglings coming here. The Phoenix Harass is continuing to try to draw the attention and screen time here from Solar back into his main. And the more that these Zealots do, the better it is here for SOS. He's done a pretty damn good job, but I think that now SOS is moving out onto the middle of the map. We have some link counterattacks here. Again, those so many cannons and available warpins here. I don't think it's going to actually shut down that base. It looks like it, in fact, is not.
Kind of an annoying Ling attack up here. Going to get rid of a lot of these cannons for the time being. Still a ton of upgrades being made here by Solar, as they should be. But slowly but surely, we see SOS getting into like the ultimate PvZ composition. Upgrades, Archons, Templar, and Tempest. Like, when you have all of those together, you can make something that is so hard for your opponent to stop. All you need on top of that, and we see him making an Oracle now, is to tag the Zerg army that's incoming, right? Like, Burrowed Infestors can screw it up, Vipers can screw it up, but if you see all that stuff coming, you can kind of counter it all with your composition.
Yeah. I got to say, I did not think this game was going to go this long. I actually thought that Solar would actually have such mounting pressure, he might be able to smash SOS into game 2, but SOS, again, he's always so crafty.
Yeah.
You know, he really knows how to maneuver, how to react, how to respond. Now, with this push, it's very tricky to engage the Broodlords by the ground. The Ultras right underneath them just do so much damage. But I love what SOS did by sending these Archons out here. He doesn't need all these Archons back at home because they don't have that much utility.
It's kind of ridiculous how well he's playing this game right now. A ton of Banelings coming in, Ultras as well. The ground army and even the air army starting to get cleaned up.
Look at this. There's just not enough Corruptors, it looks like, at the end of the day. He might... Oh, no, maybe he just barely has enough. Hold on.
No, it's just Queens left over here.
I guess you're right.
So, I mean, he kills like a lot of the army here of SOS, but I like this for SOS, what we're looking at,
and
man.
SOS is still doing damage over here. Oh, my God. If he got that Greater Spire... I don't think he's looking, though. I think he's really preoccupied wiping out these Queens. This, I think, is the game point, or the point in the game, I should say, that that SOS can actually march across the map with this.
Yeah, no, it looks really, really good. But look at the fact that he's switching into Ultras right now, but Immortals are being made. Like, SOS realizes that, like, okay, you can't remake a Broodlord army. That's too expensive.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's adding in Immortals, I'm just such a fan. What a great game to start out on. Oh, my God.
And again, it's SOS, the crafty survivor Protoss, La Cucaracha himself.
La Cucaracha, I forgot.
My name is La Cucaracha. I refuse to die. Look at the supplies, man. It's 161 to 89, and a flimsy Zerg unit comp at that. The Ling Ultra can never really fully address what Protoss has.
Yeah.
We have Solar trying to turtle his heart out here. Now, I will say with this unit comp that SOS has, it's going to be hard to address any expansions here in the bottom right. That bottom right quadrant is far away.
Yeah, it is very true. It looks like SOS can't lose, just kind of looking at it, but the mobility goes to Solar with this army. Like 3-3 Crackling Ultra will kill buildings in like 2 seconds. I think that the biggest power that SOS has right now is the Mothership. Against this type of army,
Yeah.
both providing cloak, but especially recall. Like the fact that he can kind of roam the map and then recall if he gets counterattacked, that's what's making it hard. So I do like the fact that we see some infestors coming out. He's even getting pathogen glands. Maybe he can lock down this army and take it out. Of course, that's going to reveal things into the Mothership as well, but yeah, SOS is just looking way too strong with this comp.
He really is. He's maneuvering now down to the bottom right. I'm not clear on how many cannons, by the way, are actually in the upper left. Sometimes if you get this far along, you have so many minerals, you can actually just make enough cannons that the Zerg is just trading into buildings. Yeah. Yeah. Normally it's StarCraft 1 where you just see a big multitude of cannons right away, but in StarCraft 2, if you get far enough along and you have the minerals, then you can start to set up almost like sandbagging the army out of any kind of counterattack. You just have such a multitude of cannons, they shut down everything.
Yeah, even if you have like a Psystorm behind that.
Yeah,
like you'll kill like
crazy.
1,000 lings. One Psystorm.
So he's going to push in through the bottom. The expansions with minerals, it's actually the one that's the richest is actually at the top. Am I correct about that, Artosis?
Oh, that was
the Zerg one that's just adjacent to the main.
Yeah. You're definitely right that that's where he has the most of his minerals right now.
Okay, so he's just going to loop back over here, leaving the Tasos and Artosis Archon here to just guard this.
Oh, they're
going to
screw
Look at
this
that!
up,
Good
man.
job killing that drone.
Die!
Ah!
Oh no!
All right,
Tasteless! No! Okay, so I really like where he's going with Neural Parasite, by the way, and Burrow. I think that just the fact that he saw that many infestors is why he recalled out of there, because I think a lot of people will probably look at that and be like, can't you just go kill him? Well, maybe, but you don't know exactly where his infestor upgrades are at.
Right.
If a bunch of Neurals pop out of nowhere, or these things are broed, you don't see them coming.
That is
or
so many
chain
infestors.
fungals.
Look
Yeah.
at that.
This is the one way that he can really win this. But again, like I was saying before, you just have to make sure you see it coming. So sitting over cannons is one way. Having observers out in front is one way. And of course, oracles is one of the best ways in the late game. If you can tag those infestors, you can just feedback them. That's it. The game is yours.
He's pushing it. I'm sorry, this base is not mineral rich. So all SOS has to do is basically, he doesn't even actually have to kill any of these bases that are already have been taken. He just has to stop the new ones, like this one down here.
Yeah. This is like Solar is really just trying his best to do anything here. Like he's been in such a bad position for so long since that Broodlord fight where he lost his army. That is such an expensive army.
I've always had this weird feeling about. I'm not saying that people shouldn't go for Broodlords, because I think that if you can do it right, it works. But we've seen a lot of games where they get to Broodlords, and that's actually where the Protoss or the Terran can take advantage of everything.
Yeah, if you don't press your advantage, I feel like immediately with Broodlords, a lot of times they don't scale well. Once you have the units that counter Broodlords, damn do Broodlords get countered.
Okay, here we go. Feedbacks all over these infestors.
Oh my god, that's actually a really great Neural Parasite coming out on the Mothership.
Look at this. Psionic Storm is pretty good, guys.
Yeah, I guess so.
GG. SOS takes game number 1, showing that he can beat anybody. This is why this guy's a 2-time world champion, despite Solar on a sick killing spree lately.
See Rogue coming over to talk to him about it as well. That was SOS playing a purely macro game. Even got behind early on, losing 8 probes to a link drop. You know, he was originally going for some Archon drop plus Zealot Warp and Pressure, but that didn't really work out for him. He was just able to keep Solar back a little bit, and you know, he played a long standard macro game from there. So SOS showing that he's in scary form right now.
You know, you can never underestimate SOS. He's just that good. He just really gets it on a level a lot of other players don't. Solar, it seemed like he was stumbling through that Broodlord tech, engaging, and SOS knew exactly how to do it. Even when the expansion that was pushed by the Broodlords had to fold there for SOS, he knew. SOS knew, I should say. All he has to do is be really good with that harass and counterattack, get enough Tempest, get enough Psystorm, that it's not going to matter. Because when Solar techs up to a Zerg composition like that, and spent so much gas, the recuperation cost to then even try to segue back into a ground army is insane.
So
and don't tell me guy yelling at his computer screen, he just needs to make lings. It's very easy for the Protoss to respond to that. And you do not have enough gas normally to get the Ultras with that. And SOS knew it. He took advantage of it. Now we go to game number 2.
2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S.
In the bottom left, in the blue.
Splice. Solar.
Did I say bottom left? I mean upper left. In the bottom right, in the red, he is.
Does anyone
Generic
else think that
Green
Tasteless
Wings.
doesn't even know
SOS.
the difference between up and down?
Well, here's the reason why. For those of you guys that are at home and don't know what it looks like when we're casting, I'm actually strapped into one of those NASA machines. They train people to go into space. And as I cast this, I'm spinning around in circles. So
Yeah, how do you
That's-
think Tasteless...
Yeah.
Oh, that's the most beautiful cannon rush I've ever seen. How do you think Tasteless has such great GGs? Because we make him cast while under many Gs.
that's right. I'm under so many Gs during the cast. So I have a monitor strapped to my helmet that I also have to wear because casting's a dangerous job. And I'm just spinning around like that. And let's look at this down and dirty.
Dude. He's so clever. Like, the way that he snuck his probe up there... Yeah, you can't stop that.
Uh-oh.
You can't stop that.
Sorry, buddy. I played with Legos as a kid.
Dude, so awesome. And he has the gateway here to put pressure on.
Usually when you do this, you then have to try to pursue the other drones that are out to just make sure they don't just expand elsewhere. Now, with the cannon set up here, this is kind of funny because... Oh, no! Oh!
I love that there's 3 drones out to try to stop the probe from really screwing him up. But he can make Zealots right over here proxy
Oh, I didn't even think
to
about
pressure
that,
that. By the way, I have to point out, there was an Overlord that almost saw this. He skirted in between the hatchery vision and an Overlord vision and put that pylon down perfectly. Like, wow.
So, let's see what SOS does with this. We don't get to cast this very often, but whenever you do cannon rush like this, you do have an outpost outside of their base. I mean, you can add more cannons there if you want to cut down on circulation.
Yeah.
The other Zerg player cannot easily send drones to this next spot.
I gotta, like, looking at how well prepared he's come in today and the fact that he played a sick macro game in the last game, right?
Yeah.
Just standard stuff after getting slightly behind in the opener. I gotta ask you, Tasteless, is SOS gonna win BlizzCon? Like,
He might.
he might. Because everyone is only talking about TY and innovation because they really look like the
And
best in the world.
shame
but
on
if you
them.
want to find someone who will kill those 2 nerds, if you have to name one name out of all StarCraft 2 players on Earth that can kill both innovation and TY when it counts, it would be SOS. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Who was the first player that SOS beat in the World Finals? It was J-Dog, right?
Yes, it was.
It was like, J-Dog, J-Dog.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's SOS, man. What are you doing?
That
And
really
the
did
next
look like
finals,
J-Dog's.
again, boom, SOS. Like, why would you ever doubt this guy? And you look at how he prepares the different builds. He just won in such a solid macro game. And now, you know, he's proving that he can completely turn this game upside down. Now, that being said, he can still lose. But he's already showing that he's got the full range.
Well, Solar cleans it up. He had to make a lot of lings for it, so his drone count is not anything to, you know, write home about. It's not too special. He's pretty low on that overall. These lings aren't going to have much use, really. Like,
Yeah, they
I mean, he
can't
has
pack
map
that much
control.
punch.
Yeah, he has map control for a little bit. That's about it. Solar's behind on his bases. He's low on drones. Like, I love where SOS is at. I love that he doesn't even have a gateway at home. This is like, how can't you just be completely in love with SOS and how he looks at this game? He just...
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's truly something to be impressed
There's no
by.
one like him. There's no one that is even remotely like SOS.
He's like a better version of the Brood War Null Ra player.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Null Ra was always very, very good and had these insane plays.
Yeah.
And SOS just sort of, every once in a while will pull out these builds where this will only work once ever in a tournament.
Yeah.
And that's fine. He can play normally too, but he's also got these builds where, yeah, if you've seen this before, you'll probably stop it. But if not, oh, you're on your own, man.
And that game 1 gives me so much hope for SOS because, like, when he is down a little bit, like, because he's a little bit volatile with his results, right? Like, he'll either be a champion or, like, go out in the round of 32. Like, for instance, he lost in round of 32 last season, was top 4 the season before that. It's just like SOS, he has variability to him. But, like, when he does not have variability to him is when he shows us solid macro games. Like, when his macro is on point as well, and he's not only having to be, you know, the trickster, that's when he is, like, super dangerous. Damn, this is good.
Double Stargate.
Yeah.
God.
Mass Oracle.
Oh, man.
All the NA players right now. Yeah. They're like, yeah, see, that's what I have to deal
playing with our meta.
Like, well, he cannon rush his opponent. This is a great follow-up.
Exactly. They're playing with our meta.
Cannon rush is like you won't have units at home for a long time, so counters that are Ravager base can just straight kill you, so you kind of have to go Stargate behind that. And I love the double Stargate play. Actually, when I cannon rush, I like to do this as well. Just lots of oracles.
So because they had to get thrown off early on with what they were doing, because they didn't get the drones they wanted, they didn't get the bases up in the order that they wanted, everything's a little bit slower for the Zerg. And one funny thing about oracles, I mean, it's somewhat self-evident, but for the people that aren't that familiar with this, if you have enough oracles, everything just dies so fast, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Seriously, like, I love that he's adding the Sing of Spore, so that's somewhere he won't want to attack yet.
Right.
But, like, if there's a Spore and a Queen, or 2 Queens and a Spore, or something like that, you have 5 oracles. Oh, no problem, man. You kill every drone and the Queens. It's just, that's it.
That being said, though, it seems like Solar basically is ready for this. If he gets 2 Spores up everywhere, I don't know if it's really worth it. Well, maybe it just is.
Well, the Queens are coming in, so, like, he's not going to get as much done. Yeah. Just having those extra Queens there is really what's key.
Oh, you know what? Solar might just take this, despite us praising SOS. SOS might say, okay, I got to stop being so weird.
He's making a Spire. Like, he's making a Spire. If you just
you
go
just
into
make Phoenixes.
Yeah, if you make Phoenixes, what are you going to do? Like, there's a 3rd Stargate going up and +1 attack. He saw the Spire. Like, I like this for SOS. If he just makes Phoenixes, then these mutas are going to be just total chumps, man. They're not going to do anything. Look, he's adding in some corruptors because he realizes that this is going to be an issue.
They're going to be chumpalisks.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Ah! So, just completely destroying those lings there on the ground. It's tough. So, from there, the Zerg ups the ante, going into corruptors. Kind of funny.
Yeah, no, the corruptors are going to do well, but if you have like a cannon in your base, then the corruptors can't do too much. Like, you can just kind of fly back to that. And you can go into like Void Rays as well. Like, I mean, it looks like we're going to have air toss against like Corruptor Muta.
On this map that looks like it should only be ground armies.
Yeah.
With a small amount of harass here.
Look, the middle is so open and long. It's like, are you supposed to fly air armies over that? Is that how this is played?
One of you guys, you could get Hydras here. You could, but yeah, this is what happens because of the way this game started out. It's already gone in a really weird direction here.
Whenever a game goes in a weird direction, that is quality assurance for SOS. Like, that is where
I agree.
He wants it to be the weirdest thing ever because he's just like more clever.
Well, he just seems to know I guess what a lot of people would consider minutia. He can turn that into an advantage. You can learn so much about an RTS game, and it goes so deep, and there's all these funny details. And I feel like SOS has sanded those edges down. He has more wrinkles in his brain for that kind of stuff. And when you get in a weird game like this, he can actually hammer together a victory. But Solar, I will say, is adapting and is holding his own.
Double Infestation Pit is here. I think that was just a mistake. But obviously, if you get a fungal growth off onto the Phoenixes, they will lose to the Mutacorruptor.
Right.
So that is definitely one way to try to counter this style. But if SOS is playing against like fungal Corruptor Muta, and he has 4 bases and just makes cannons, then he can go into full Sky Toss to the point where no longer is that going to be something that really scares him as much.
It's interesting because he has so many oracles, he can actually tag forever.
Yeah.
Like, tag with impunity.
He's going to have more tags than a mattress.
Yeah, he's going to come up. And he's actually moving now with the oracles down here. Now, there are still enough oracles. Is the 4th base equipped to handle mass? Yeah, look at this.
This is such
I think
a funny
even with the
Oracles.
speed transfuses, okay, now he's going to back up. He doesn't want to get intercepted by the Corruptors. Corruptors actually, well, I was going to say they might want to be more in the middle because if the Oracles come around, he might be able to just catch them.
Yeah, like Oracles are still really super fast, but the new speed on those Corruptors does make them a little bit more viable at chasing things down. Now, the Infestors are popping out, right? So he's got to be a little bit careful. If the Fungal hit that, that gives a
would've been
big
game.
lead. Like,
I would even say possibly game. Losing that many.
it would be nice. The thing is, like the army of of Solar can't really kill anything right now. Once he gets into Greater Spire, sure.
Okay, no problem.
These Oracles are fantastic.
Yeah. How funny we're casting a game like this. It's the round of 8. And we have 2 guys that have been forced into going air now after a cannon rush that definitely slowed the Zerg down.
Yeah.
It's crazy, too, because especially with the Oracles against the ground, they're always trading effectively.
Oh,
You know, usually you have one Oracle and the damage eventually slows down because it runs out of energy, but when you have this many, anything below it just dies.
by the way,
We've seen that with Hydras as well, where we're so used to just assuming that Hydras are the answer, but sometimes you have enough Oracles and, yeah, that doesn't matter, though.
well, you know, he didn't choose to open Hydra, so he's kind of stuck on the air. But look at this. He's going for an Ultralisk Cavern, which is really funny because, like, what truly counters Phoenixes? Ultras is not a bad choice, right? Like, you can't even hurt them. So that's
I do like the Infestor tech here for Solar.
yeah.
That might be the play that actually allows him to get out. If he can catch this with a few Fungals.
killing Lings with Phoenixes is like, it feels like the biggest exercise in futility. It just takes so long. And
So much APM that you have to use up.
The amount of energy, you're using 50 energy to kill a Ling.
So we do have a big ground switch here. 5 more gateways are about to finish up. It's 4 now, but it was 5. The last one just now finished up. And he's going to have the option to do what normally the Zerg gets to do.
Yeah.
In a PvZ is normally it's a Zerg, you get in a big fight, and then you switch the unit comp. And in this game, he can actually do that. The only thing I'm worried about is the ground upgrades might be low. I don't know. Did Zerg
Yeah,
get
they're
ground
super
upgrades
low.
here?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's getting +2 carapace right now.
That
So
might
that's
be
like
another
a big
way
deal.
that Solar just wins this.
And the thing is, like, the gateway units that he's choosing, Ultras counter them. Like, if you want to go ground... Ooh, that was good. He got all the Oracles, I think. Oh, no, not all.
What?
Like, did he kill all the Oracles as I watched 5 fly away? No, but Ultras are going to do well against this army. He doesn't actually have a counter to Ultra right now.
If only he had had the 2 forges behind this, that might have been enough to maybe take this on.
Yeah, the switch into Protoss ground I find really interesting. Like, you never see anyone really try to do something quite like this.
I like the idea of it, except for the upgrade part. He definitely had enough money in this game to have 2 forges upgrading the whole time.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. Like, I feel like this is kind of off the cuff that he's going for that, just because there are, like, he's just fighting against Ling all the time. Like, no Hydras are being made, so you look at that and you're like, well, Zealot Archon does very well against Ling. Let's go for that. But the fact that Ultras are being made, I think that this really is a good situation for Solar as far as what the SOS army looks like right now. Phoenixes do nothing against them. They do 6 splash against these Zealots. The Zealots don't have great upgrades yet. Look at this. He's getting +3 melee. He already has +2 carapace and chitinous plating. So
Yeah, the thing is...
you have to turtle as SOS, I think.
yeah, I mean, and Turtle he can.
Yeah.
Artosis. But you're right. I think a direct combat with these armies, Protoss just melts. Let's see, though. Let's see. This is not our normal ZVP here by any measure.
Oh, God. That is a
no.
lot of energy on those Infestors. And he's getting Neural. It's not up yet. But he's just got to get a bunch of cannons, basically. When you start making the cannons, the Infestors can't really do as much. Oh, a lot of Banes on the way.
A lot of minerals and gas banked in both sides here. So even when the big fights happen, remember that they can switch into basically any unit composition they want.
Solar's just going to go kill him, right? Like, look at this army.
I think so.
He has Psystorm. It's just those Ultras. I'm like, ooh, those are really hard to kill here. Plus Fungals? Ooh. And he has not been able to tag these Infestors at all. He keeps trying.
Well,
he knows there's Infestors in there.
Solar's pretty smart. He's keeping this back. This pylon needs to get cannons around it like yesterday because Zerg is about to pounce. In fact, that's happening right now. Where's the observer?
I think there's one on his army, but I did see one get picked off as well, so I'm not 100% sure.
So we don't have more making here.
Okay,
he
sees
sees
the
it. He knows.
infestors. That's really important that he sees those. Okay. Well,
Okay,
that's
nice storms on this army. Phoenixes and Archons all the way in the back. If he can get over here, oh, great fungal there on the Phoenixes. If the Phoenixes can get over there and pick up that one infestor.
Immortal.
Okay, you know what? This SOS is so good. This is so crazy. Look at this. Is he gonna go over here and pick up these infestors?
Oh yeah, he should really kill those off. But he's actually got so many Phoenixes now, he can chase down everything.
Look at this.
This is what it looks like when Phoenixes kill Corruptors.
Look, picks up the other two investors. It's now 185 to 150.
Jeez.
They're beginning to remax out. 6 Ultras, 9 Infestors, 8 Corruptors. Over here for Protoss, he's continuing to stay on Immortals, correctly predicting that Ultras may be the primary threat here. SOS is still keeping up with the upgrades despite being behind throughout this. He's not lost his rhythm. And he will eventually have an army that can directly combat this. And even the Zealots, splitting them out, trying to slow down these other bases. Can he just target down the hatchery here? Maybe not with this many links coming down.
And the Banelings rolling as well. Just totally cool game so far between these two, but SOS looking ridiculously strong. Like, I was getting scared for him when Solar started going for Ultras against the ground switch that had no upgrades, but it was only like 3 Ultras during the attack, and he gets... The army just dies, and now SOS is taking another base. Crazy stuff.
Mothership going to be a part of this game again shortly here. These Zealots trying to come in here and take out this one hatch. There's a bit of predictability here, but I don't blame SOS for going for it. Meanwhile, Solar is now expanding over here to this expansion adjacent to where his main is. This map rapidly becoming split in half. Solar gearing up. Looks like he wants to try to jump in here one more time. Enough infestors to be a real threat. He's got to be careful with these Immortals.
Oh man, he has to back up. The cannons just really helping there, screwing up the AI of everything.
I like the spacing of the cannons too. He's got to some out in the front and some way in the back so he can keep his army at a safe distance.
Yeah, he can kind of move in between them more quickly and kind of just micro how he wants. It funnels up any Banelings that are trying to go as well. Banelings can't hit 2 cannons at once.
I'm sorry, he doesn't still have any of those Oracles left, right? Does he?
Yeah, he has Oracles, yeah.
Where'd they go?
I think he's just keeping them with his army and tagging when Zerg comes up.
Okay.
Like, I think he just... That's like a good thing to do, too, because the only thing you're truly afraid of is, like, Vipers coming in from nowhere and yanking expensive units, and Infestors coming in from nowhere to fungal and neural expensive units. So as long as he just sees things coming, that's it. That's how you win.
Once again, the Broodlord play here. Let's not forget in the last game, when we saw the Broodlord attack come in here, that's when SOS really shut everything down and managed to put himself in a very nice advantage.
Dude, this series is so much fun so far.
Oh, yeah.
Watching SOS play Protoss, like every time I watch him play and he's in shape, I just want to go home and play.
It's such an inspiration, it really is.
Yeah.
So we've got some small harasses coming through here. But I don't think this is going to be enough. I mean, DT is here to clean this up.
Quickest way.
Yeah, well, it's hard to have any Overseers out when you have this many Phoenixes.
Yeah, it's like too much. It's too much to send an Overseer with 2 Ultras to harass.
Bisu playing right now.
Yeah.
Phoenix DT, the new meta. Well, there are pretty much no more easy bases for the Zerg to take, assuming that the bases he has already aren't taken out right now. This is really tough for the Zerg, because Protoss expands at a slower rate, and therefore has to expand out towards the Zerg a little bit later than the Zerg does to the Protoss. And I think SOS is actually getting into a position that he should like, just based off the way the Zerg vs Protoss matchup is sort of always operated on.
What's his anti-air look like right now? Is it just like Phoenixes and Archons? Because there's some decent amount of broods out.
Yeah, but the Templars, I think, were what really won the air fights last game. He should have enough this time around.
But the Broodlords, like, can kind of zone back everything, and he doesn't really have anti-Broodlord. Like, he needs 3 or 4 Tempests pretty badly, and I don't see those. Right? Like, look at that. This is getting to be a scary Zerg army. if you don't have Tempest. Of course, if you have Tempest, you can wipe these out pretty quickly.
This is pretty smart, too. He's got the creep far out enough. He can start to push forward with the spores.
He just, with that Watchtower, saw that there were Broodlord Spore kind of pushing out, started a Tempest. He needs to burn off some of his supply right now and get some more, though.
Well, I think that's exactly what he's doing now with some of these Zealots. So he has a second Tempest coming up here. The Queens are going to edge in. Protoss cannot let the Zerg take the center location. So he's going to come back here and immediately shut this down.
I think he should give away his Phoenixes. I mean, it hurts.
So?
They're so efficient, but at this stage in the game, they don't really do that much. It's
just go on a suicide run and try to get as many drones as you
something
can
like that. Kill Overlords or just do something. And the thing is, he'll have to go clean it, so it'll kind of keep him busy. And as they die off, you can make other units. Like, I mean, Phoenixes are so great. They're such a good unit, and they're so active, and he's gained so much value. But right now, that's the hole in his supply. Like, he's countered Ultras really well. He's countered Corruptors really well. He's countered Banelings really well. He Storm counters just about everything. But, like, the Phoenixes aren't really helping. It's not like a Mutaswitch is going to come in, you know?
No, a Mutaswitch would be unwise.
Yeah, you don't want to do that here.
Oh, that's funny. He actually has that in the wrong spot. These two Lings are still here. Doesn't seem like Solar's been paying that much attention to him because they could have popped out and taken out the probe, but I don't want to be splitting hairs too much. What woulda, coulda, shouldas in a game that's getting this crazy.
No, it's getting to such a place where a lot of this comes down to like patience and sometimes creativity as well.
Sure.
Like you see that right now it's just like super duper mass spores being made in the center of the map. Look, this is making 15 spores additional right now.
Does he cancel that? Oh no, I guess he's just getting more Lings. I thought maybe he gets more Broods with this. Like makes 15 spores and then cancels it to be.
Yeah, he could do that in a little bit.
Oh, target! Not the Lings.
Yeah. Okay, so he's throwing away some Immortals. That's decent to throw away as well. And I think this is the Phoenix throwaway that we're watching also.
Yeah.
Is go send them in. They'll die, but they'll get good damage, and you can make more Tempests. Because, like, right now he just needs to make that same unit composition we were talking about in Game 1. Archon, Psystorm, not even the Templar unit. Psystorm and Feedback, it's super, super helpful here. Some Oracles and Tempests.
You know, it's harder than it looks to try to catch up to all of these Phoenixes with the Corruptors.
Yeah.
The Phoenix is just a much more nimble unit. It's too bad those Immortals did not target down that base at the bottom. It looks like SOS was just a little bit too preoccupied, because taking that out, we would really see Solar tightening his belt here, as he does not have any kind of proper income.
Hey, I thought I saw him making a Viper, but I don't see one on the unit tab. I mean, I like having
that was a great story.
No, I like a few Vipers at this point in the game as well. Like
I could see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then you're going to get an Abduct that's just really valuable.
Is he going to try to push with this Mothership army? It looks like all SOS wants to do is stamp out these bases and leave. There's a push in the middle of the map, by the way, for Zerg.
Oh,
Zerg guys, I believe it's Broodlords coming through here.
Right, yeah. That's a scary army. He's only got 3 Tempests, so it's a little bit annoying to kill, but he's just going to go ahead and do a little bit of a base trade.
But we saw something similar to this in Game 1, where he basically, SOS just sacked the base in the middle, and then he's expanding elsewhere.
Well, he's got recall, so he can kill like 2 bases at least for every one that Zerg can kill with this slow Broodlord army.
Where's the Spire? Or Greater
Spire's
Spire?
in the natural.
It's in the natural?
Or at the third, actually. It might be at the third.
That's what I thought, is if it's at the third, he can just go there and take that out.
Yeah, that's a sick snipe.
So this is an odd, slow, steady base trade. Now, I think that SOS is making a mistake here. He's actually about to be attacked hugely. This Nexus over here, and he's backing up. Did he bring him back? Okay, he did. Does he have enough Templars in this army?
Yeah, I think
6
he has
Templars
quite a few.
total.
That's pretty good.
It'd be a little bit tricky to figure this out when you have this much stuff going on at once. Now, SOS also taking his base in the bottom center, and I don't know if Solar's checking there yet.
No, it doesn't look like he's seen it quite yet, but I think, obviously all of this really comes down so heavily to the engagement that occurs. Okay, he's finally lost all those Phoenixes, by the way. Now he's up. His army is getting just so ludicrous. Look at that army. It's almost a perfect composition against Zerg.
It really is.
I mean,
getting the shields here now.
I'd like to see like maybe a couple more High Templars or something, but I mean, it's so good. That's a huge amount of Archons. So Corruptors can't get too close to the Tempest. As long as you tag that army, the Tempests are just going to hit pot shots. Really,
so
really
much
strong.
supply here in Corruptors. Now, I believe that the minerals at the bases for SOS should be much richer at this point in time. Now this base is okay. The Ultras are going to get, I think, stuck down here if they go any further.
Is he just trying to get rid of them, I guess? It's kind of like the Phoenixes. He's just going to make... Solar's just going to make an ultimate army and see how that goes.
Problem is, again, he does not have a proper income.
Yeah.
These bases are pretty much dried up here for Solar.
It's going to come down to one battle. Like, if Solar wins it, he wins. If he loses it, he loses.
5 Tempests out now. Again, a lot of this is going to come down to where the Psionic Storms land. Now, with this, even with this base up here, does SOS just ditch this base?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he does, because he has enough minerals. Like you see, it's 2.3K banked up. He can always expand again.
Yeah, I don't think he can recall into where the army is attacking, just because the army itself will kill everything, or enough of it, before you are done the war. So, feels like this is the right play.
Can he get the Greater Spire up here? The Broodlords are headed back. Probes are rotating back around. Seems like SOS wants to really be cautious with what comes back here. And he's identified that, yep, these bases, he has to have one of these up here, or it's not going to be enough. So, we're still waiting for this big fight to actually happen.
Yeah. SOS is just kind of outmaneuvering Solar right now. How do you, as Solar, engage this army correctly to win the game?
Well, I think that's the problem, is that SOS doesn't have to engage first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
SOS can just keep mining a
He's
few more
gaining
minerals.
value over and over and over and over. The army of Solar is not really getting better at this point.
Exactly.
And, like, he's got a ton of full energy Templars. Look at these. He's up to 12 Archons. He's got the 5 Tempests. He's going to be one-shotting Broodlords with ease. This, like... This is a really tough one for Solar to win.
So getting the tag off on that Broodlord army, if Protoss can keep doing that over and over again, I don't think it's possible for Solar to have a proper engage. Yeah,
right? It's very tough, but the way he's doing it, like pushing up with these spores and like bringing up his... Look at this. Good fungals. Quality fungals. Oh!
Wait, what? I don't know what's happening.
He took it, but it already had the recall going. Pull it back, kill it. Kill it. Okay. That's such an important unit to take out. Look at this. Good fungals. Good fungals.
Okay.
I want to see a neural on some of these, on a High Templar, and then just mass feedbacks on High Templars. That's what I want, Tasos. Please give it to me, Solar.
Okay, we'll do our best. Solar now knows your wish.
Can you pause and tell Solar
see if Solar Claus gives you what you wanted for Christmas.
Yeah, Solar Claus. Oh. Look at this Viper. Look at this Viper.
Oh. He hasn't quite taken out the Nexus yet, which is all he really needs to get. He doesn't have to commit to more than that.
He did a pretty good job here.
There's a mothership that came right out of there. Okay, he gets that one too. Okay, he's harpooning some of these.
Pull away.
Okay, here we go. Storms.
Yeah, with
Storm in the zone of Oracle.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that SOS...
Solar's doing a really good job right now. These Neurals and Fungals are fantastic.
Okay, but there might be so many Archons here. If the Archons can try to bum rush some of this.
Dude, every Fungal that goes down, you're losing units to that. The Broodlords just kill these off. Because Broodlords are good against Archons. And so is Fungal.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, the Archons are too clunky. And you know what? Solar actually has a space at the top. He can mine from it, he can get gas from it if he needs. He's not getting that gas just yet.
He's doing a really good job. I'm like very impressed on how he did on that battle. I felt like SOS was going to be able to do a bit better there, but I guess not. Like, a lot of this, I think, comes down to his High Templar usage and just making sure he's getting feedbacks off as much as he possibly can. Obviously, Psystorms when the Corruptors come too close as well.
Now, look at the income right now for Solar. Very low. A little bit of minerals coming in. SOS, also he's low. But he's got these bases that, and minus some of the links, he doesn't seem to be able to quite get to. And so, SOS may stay up here at the top to keep the Broodlord army at the top, while SOS just starts sucking up all the minerals at the bottom base. Does Zerg not know about this very, very bottom location. Oh no, I guess he does now. If he didn't, he certainly does now.
And some zealots being warped in, but the pylon dies, so I guess this base is completely gone. So that's a very good kill there by Solar. But SOS is catching up in army once again. Like, Solar's income is not that much, but you have to set up these battles perfectly as the Zerg player, I think, to have a battle like we just saw at SOS's other base, where he actually lost some stuff finally.
Okay, now Solar with a possible opportunity to try to shut this game down, moving into game 3 with a win here over SOS. He just needs to have a good engage. Because right now it's Solar with the mining base and SOS without. So the pressure's now on SOS to try to engage this base up here. And he's with a slower supply overall. In fact, right now SOS isn't making anything. So it looks like Solar should win this the next minute or two if he can hold off the engage here from SOS.
Well, SOS, like, it looks like he's starting to mine a little bit.
Well, he's got 8 probes, bro.
Base.
I think this game's actually done.
You think so?
I think so, unless SOS has the craziest engage and wins the fight.
The army that he has, like, the thing is, if you kill Solar's army, you win as SOS still.
True.
You know? So that's, like, I feel like this is the only thing he needs to focus on is hunting this army down and killing it. Because, like, just his unit set is so cost efficient.
We're still waiting. Again, slowly chiseling away at the Zerg.
I find it interesting SOS is not making probes, by the way. Like,
well, I'm a little bit surprised myself considering the minerals and gas that he has. Okay, I think he's deciding he can actually push in here. He's got enough on the ground.
Oh man, he's got to get the Archons underneath there, but a lot of Fungals slowing them down. Fungals onto the High Templars.
Okay, doing a good job.
Oh my god, chain Fungals on the High Templars. It looks like Solar should be able to take this.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually
he's got it.
chewed this army up enough that the counter push can come in here and probably end this game. Crazy engages there.
Chain Fungals there got 5 High Templars.
Yeah.
Like, those High Templars are the absolute crux of you winning this game as SOS. What a sick play out of Solar. I thought for sure when we saw him base trading and Solar barely mining that SOS was going to be able to take this.
Okay, well now the remaining army is going to get picked up and taken out because they cannot retreat while being fungled. GG. Solar ties it up 1-1. This series, man, has been so good.
This is crazy. I'm glad, too, because if SOS wins there, I'm like, oh, this might just be a 3-0. Like,
yeah.
It seems like he's just got Solar's number today. But the fact that Solar won that when it felt to me like SOS was in a very advantageous position earlier on.
Yeah.
Great play from Solar. Great late game engages. Just the mass bungles and stuff really working out for him.
So, we now go to game 3. Both these guys really seeing the raw strength that the other player has in the late game. It can go either way. It's getting super technical now. We see Stats talking to Solar. Rogue earlier talking to SOS. Talk about each of these guys having great advisors on their sides in these fights.
Literally the guys that are going to play in the next match.
They've picked good hands with the king.
Yeah.
Going into this series.
And it'll be funny because the next one is Stats versus Rogue.
Right.
So they'll be up talking to those two in between all their games. Like, what a great little set here. That's right, because they're both on the same teams.
Yeah.
And like, oh man.
It's quite perfect.
It's perfect.
Let's not forget that game number 2 started with a cannon rush.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god.
Mutated into this crazy air toss Sky Zerg game.
Yeah.
That sort of ended up in the same spot anyways, with, you know, the mothership, the mass corruptors attacking each other, infestors, everything, Templars. It was cool. We're going to go on to Odyssey for game number 3. Let's see what happens.
A cheese.
Fight.
This is all in.
2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S.
In the upper left in the blue.
Splice. Solar.
Getting fishy mouth going on. In the bottom right, in the red.
Jin Air Green Wings. SOS.
Whew. course.
Oh,
Of course.
Look at you.
I wouldn't have
Nexus
it any
right
other
over this
way.
grove of grass.
It's like, oh, this looks like a good place for a Nexus. What a funny
What we really
player.
could have hoped for was if they both went for the gold bases. Each other's gold bases.
God.
Madness. SOS always playing outside the box. Now,
Yeah.
granted, taking gold bases has always been sort of a thing, right? But you know, when SOS does it, you know there's going to be a little bit of extra spice involved.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure, especially because the first two maps are, like, basically our biggest two maps. So we saw big macro games there, and SOS definitely showed he can play that.
I'll send an SOS to the world in the Book of Solar.
So the fact that we hit Odyssey now, which is a much smaller map, and
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, it's a pretty good map for both sides of the matchup. I really, just going into this, I figure that SOS will probably do something like an Adept all-in. I'm pretty sure that is what we're going to see, is some super big two-base play. His bases are too far from each other. He's going to have to get aggression on. Like, I think what we'll see here probably is just two Adepts out-pressuring. Probably into a Glaives all-in, if I had to guess.
Oh, well, I think it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
the Adepts are mineral heavy.
Yeah.
When you get a gold base, you're trying to leverage a mineral influx that comes in so fast that they might get thrown off balance. So Zerg might get thrown off balance trying to deal with that.
And
The
it's
probe here to try to delay that third, by the way, as much as possible.
Also, let's not forget that during the interview, like not the interview today, but the video interview where they had to grade each other,
Yeah.
he said that Solar gets an F on defense. He actually finds Solar to be weak at defending things. But these builds are much weaker on big maps like the last two that we just saw, right? So this is the perfect time, the perfect place.
Who are you rooting for in the series? Do you have a player that you want to have win?
God, I love Solar, but I want SOS at BlizzCon.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
I'm
I
personally
really
rooting
do.
for SOS here.
Yeah, because for me right now, I'm just looking at, I'm like, is it Innovation or TY that wins BlizzCon? Like, that's like a big thing in my mind, because I think those two are in too good a shape. But, like, when SOS is in a big money tournament, this isn't a joke or a meme. He actually wins every time if it's, like, a ton of money. And this, I know he will come so prepared to BlizzCon, and I know that he is one of the few guys that I can count on to actually beat the best Terran players.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
He
With
will
his
come up
brainy
with
play.
stuff that, like, Innovation and TY don't even see coming.
So the gold base has been spotted. It was not by this link, but by one earlier. And therefore, not as much of this is a surprise what will come next. He knows there's going to be a lot of gateways masked up. Not to be too critical of Solar here, but you want to be very careful with every single ling you have.
He's got a Twilight he's not upgrading out of. This is very bizarre for me.
Dude, that's so bad. I think he forgot.
Yeah.
That means that this just won't work.
Yeah, this is going to be so much weaker, and Solar
Oh
knows
my
what's going
God.
on. He's making his Roach Warren.
Oh my God. Not like, oh no, there it is. But it's still late.
It's super
It's
late.
late.
It's late!
The upgrade slept in.
Oh, man. Well, he's making a third Nexus and a Robo now. Okay, I'm not sure if he's actually going to go all in, maybe just put on some pressure or something, but a Drop Overlord on the way, Roaches being made at home. The Roaches are going to be a perfect defensive tool against Adepts, especially considering Glaives is so late. And he's, like, making a Nexus, so it doesn't seem like he's going to make enough gateways to really, pull the trigger completely.
Perhaps he'll try to just segue into a normal game. Okay, chasing this one Stalker down here. Another Warpin coming in with these Adepts. No pressure at all over there on that extra base. Now he's just keeping the Overlord over here to make sure that the other player has to, like, respect and follow this around.
Yeah.
Or you're going to lose workers. And
Gotta send
that's two blessed Adepts that are in this fight up here. Now he's coming up. Is this too bold? Is this too brazen? And is the upgrade too late?
Yeah, the upgrade would be done right now.
Right.
If he had actually started at a little bit earlier time, and he had the money, so you don't make the Twilight and then wait, 40 seconds to start. That's not something people do.
I know a lot of people that watch GSL don't play that much. They prefer to watch because ladder anxiety. But
Well,
I want you to know,
game's
this is the worst feeling to have in a game. If you're doing a timing and you forgot the one thing that
You
you
forgot
had to
the
get,
upgrade that makes the timing. It's like
you had one
man.
job, Samuel Tully. Like, this is get that upgrade. And yeah, I mean it's very hard because these builds are designed and engineered so that you hit at an exact moment.
Yes.
And throw the other player off balance and then win the game. And to then have been even, 20, 25 seconds late on that is enough to make you insane.
Ooh.
Now, this is
Yeah,
not a bad angle.
Dude, did he accidentally finish that, or was that planned, do you think?
It seemed a little bit weird, but he might just be gunning it and hoping that he can just get his opponent out of position. Another drop, by the way, coming in here, this time with less lings, but also no adepts here to defend. A lot of attacks going on every single front.
Yeah, this drop harassment from Solar is very quietly getting tons of damage done, not only to the probe line, but forcing those warp-ins at home. And, like, did he really want to make 2 Zealots right then? No, I don't think so. But
I don't believe
maybe.
so.
I guess he made 3 more after, so I'm wrong. But
occasionally we see Zergs get peeled apart here, but I don't know if it's going to work here with Solar. But this is all that SOS can try to do, right? He's sort of stuck in this position.
As long as he keeps him home for a bit until he has some Immortals out, then he'll be able to deal with the Roach army at least. He's getting charged. He is making some Immortals. Like, I know he has at least 1 right now.
By the way, that massive amount of Overlords that are moving through the bottom were spotted, I believe, by the 3 or 4 Adepts that are there at the bottom, so he's aware of that. In case there's any shenanigans, he's going to try to pull with those later on. Forge now coming down, 2 Immortals out in play, and a Warp Prism. And it looks like he actually wants to try to mount some more pressure while taking a 4th base, hoping he can maybe stamp out one of these bases, slow down drone production, anything. Supplies are almost the same here.
Oh, I love this split off, by the way. He's got these Adepts ready to shade in, and he's going to go pressure the gold base, it looks like. So you pressure the gold, if all the units show up, the Adepts are going to wreck.
Yeah.
Big army out for Solar right now, though. He has made a lot of roaches.
Hold on a second. I think Protoss actually has the angle to get in here and possibly just deny this space.
He might.
And actually, that's just another funny way to win this game. With the Adepts now coming up over here, I think we might see SOS win on 2 different fronts.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
This is a big deal right now. He's going to get another shade, so he won't lose all of this, but this part not doing as well. Getting that hatchery is a big deal, but if he loses his entire army, that is not a good thing.
I actually feel like SOS's screen was in the wrong place at both times there.
Maybe.
But he did deny the gold base, but wow, now it's 172 supply of Zerg units to a measly 109, and I think a direct counterattack could really end up wiping SOS out.
Well, how many Immortals does he have? How many Sentries does he have? Because he's sitting here on 4 bases. The gold base is almost done. The 3rd base isn't warped in yet. So his economy is, like, not necessarily as big as it looks right now. But that army of Zerg is just crazy.
Well, I think he can just walk over. I mean, just stampede over this, whatever Protoss has. That Zerg is pretty much maxed out, in fact, with a few more units coming in here. And you don't really get to be tactical in a moment like this.
No, this is very tough. These Zealots are absolutely not doing anything.
Corrosive Vials can take out the force fields if you need to, like we're seeing here.
Yeah, his Mothership Core is trying to fly down to help out. There's not even that many pylons. Definitely not. The spell is good, but not this good.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. It looks like Solar wins game number 2. What a crazy series, though, this has been.
He's got a Prism across the map and a DT Shrine about to start, so I think that's his very last effort, is maybe warp in a handful of DTs.
I think Zerg can just loop through the top here.
I would say so.
And keep the this Protoss main base a ghost town.
Yep,
yeah, this is going to be handled. That
should be a GG.
Well, we should see him tap out in a moment here. GG, nicely done. Solar now with a 2-1 lead in this best of 5.
Definitely anyone's series, though. Both sides have played very, very well. I feel like the build order from SOS, I felt like he wanted to go for an Adepto, and I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But, you know, he forgot the Glaives. Then he didn't have that many gates, and, like, he pressured and did some damage, but when you're spending all of your units, like, consistently to do things like cancel gold, the man with the most roaches is the man who will kill all your bases.
This is true. SOS looking very concerned. It's been a close series, but Solar has gotten the better of him 2 times so far.
Yeah.
Now, in the 2 games that SOS lost, he was doing wacky strats. He started out with a cannon rush, and then in the next game, game 3 that he lost, he opened up with a gold-based rush into an adept timing. That really it's his fault he lost with because the Glaives upgrade is late.
Yeah, and even if that wasn't the plan, maybe he just wanted to do some harassment with Glaives.
Right.
Didn't work out for him, even with having additional bases, additional income over Solar for a long time.
We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, game number 4, Solar versus SOS.
언제나 변함없는 이 맛이 좋다. 깔끔해. 칠성사이다가 좋다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다. 게임팝.
소의 한여름 성장 보양식. 오빠 쑥쑥 크라고 내가 오늘 쌈 싸줄 거예요. 쌈, 고기도 많이, 김치도 많이, 쌈장도 많이, 소의 정성도 많이. 기왕성 먹고 기왕장 돼야 돼요. 올여름 감독님을 성장시킬 폭풍 성장 서머 패키지. 피파 온라인 3. 나도 성장할 거야.
김진수 선수를 모시고 이 얘기 한번 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 네! 광고를 하시잖아요, 퓨마 오늘. 네, 이거 좀 보여드리겠습니다. 오, 자 여러분 오늘 이거 드립니다.
이거예요.
네, 만지지만 내 거다. 벌써부터 지금 김진우 형님 별명이 뭔지 아세요?
뭐예요? 메가사비?
아우,
얼굴로 웃긴 게 없잖아요.
김진수 화이팅! 퓨마 화이팅!
면도기에서 면도날은 날카로우며 섬세하죠. 그래서 쉴드가 필요합니다. 이중 윤활 밴드가 아래에 하나, 위에 또 하나. 그리고 시원한 효과까지. 오, 차가워. 질레트 프로실드 7. 쿨링을 더한 프로실드 7로 당신의 면도를 부드럽고 시원하게. 질레트 프로실드 7. 남자를 위한 최상의 선택. 프로실드 7과 프로실드로 최상의 면도를 경험해보세요.
sOs.
Game number 4 is almost ready. Solar with a 2-1 lead against SOS. SOS has shown solid macro play that wins, crazy cheeses, crazy timings that have failed him. Will he go back to that solid macro play? Solar, we assumed, was going to be the guy that would come out and win during macro fights, and SOS the one who would have the upper hand in a sneaky, crafty game, but it's been the opposite so far. So I think both these players surprised. I'm very interested in seeing how the two adjust in Game 4. Solar, of course, is going to be a little bit more comfortable than SOS, as he still has some room to make mistakes.
He does.
But anything can happen. This is the two-time world champion SOS.
And guys, if he loses one of the next 2 games, he will not be at BlizzCon. There is no possibility for him to have enough points. 0% chance. Even if he wins here, he has to go on winning and get at least to the finals here this season to have a real shot. So, I mean, if you want to see a 3-time world champion, then send your energy now to SOS. The Solar's looking good, man. He's finding his stride. Our next map going to be Abyssal Reef. Definitely a very playable map for Protoss. Like, kind of easy to get 4 bases on. but also you can definitely do all-ins here. It's got a lot of tight chokes, and force field-based attacks can be really strong.
It's definitely a map for any kind of style of play. I think it's a map that makes for some of the best games we've ever seen in StarCraft 2, despite everybody saying initially it wasn't fair.
At first it seemed terrible at first, and now people are talking about, is Abyssal Reef the best map we've ever had in StarCraft 2? And I think it might be.
Definitely has the best death scenes.
Without any doubt. Without any doubt.
All right, our game is 5 seconds away from starting. Solar in the best shape we've ever seen. SOS, two-time world champion, one of the most accomplished players of all time in tournament results, in winnings, and some of the most impressive strats. Anything could happen. We're ready. Let's go.
Fight! 2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S.
In the bottom right, in the blue, he is
Splice Solar.
Every time we see him, he doesn't have his hands on the keyboard.
Plays with his mind. In the upper left, in the red,
Jin Green Wings SOS.
Again, SOS doing a lot of really crazy strats, but he's shown that if he just does a normal macro game, he can outmaneuver Solar. So
yeah, and this is a great map for a normal macro game, but the thing is, there's like you can just kind of play all sorts of ways. Like Colossus Sentry is very good here. All-ins are very good here.
Right.
Just because the force fields that you need to block off areas are very, very small. And then macro is great here as well. So it's hard to say exactly what we're going to see from these guys. Nothing too normal to open, though, from anyone so far. Like, the normal PvZ is like Bane Hydra and then like Protoss getting into Psystorm, but haven't really seen those openings quite yet.
So, it's funny because we knew these games were going to be great. We didn't think they were going to have the results like they were, just based off the strategies and styles.
Yeah.
How it ends up.
I'm just glad that they're giving us a really good series.
Yeah,
remember who was it? It was like, was it Sue vs. SOS in Season 1? Yeah, where he got 4-0'd. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If I recall, it was in that round of 4, right?
Oh, that's right. You mean round of 4? Yeah. I think in the finals. I was like, wait a minute.
No. Last time he was in the finals was against Beyond. It was actually first time too.
Right.
And that was 4-1 or 4-2. But yeah, just throwing that out there. Like, I was kind of thinking of that match going into today. I'm like, God, I hope that SOS doesn't just get smoked. You know, like. But definitely putting up a good series, showing that he is in very top form right now. So let's see how he goes about this. It looks to me like a kind of macro opening. He's actually walled that front ramp completely. I feel like that just points towards you're planning on using the other entrance as how you get out of your base, which means you will be taking a third no matter what.
Of course, so going for the turtle style.
Maybe,
slowly crawling out on the map and claiming territory to set up for a better later game here. Of course, there is ambiguity about what fourth base you really want to take here on this map. It can be very stylistic for both the Protoss and the Zerg. And some of these bases are easier to defend. Some bases you acquire that one, and it's easier to get the fourth base up. So let's watch very carefully as we go through this game how exactly they decide is the best way to play this in a PvZ. Now, he actually shaded inside the main here, so a lot of players have not been doing this as much. They'll actually send the adepts out.
No, you're right, but this is actually really good.
Oh, okay. One adept does get out.
Are you kidding me? Wow. 5 drones, a couple lings, and a lot of lost mining time. This was good for those first 2 adepts, absolutely. He's got to be happy with that. And he's kept him busy. Now the Oracle's flying in. There's 2 queens, so that's pretty good. But, still
just
getting
these more drones. 2 kills is fine if you're going to add that onto the 5 that already came there earlier. Solar rapidly remaking all these drones. A couple lings coming up here might try to put some pressure on this one adept that's blocking off this entrance. The Phoenix now out is cleaning up the rest of the Overlords. This is a pretty good game so far here from SOS.
Certainly is.
But of course, that being said, it's not like Solar's in a
bad
position just yet. But
he's not dead.
He's feeling the heat right now from SOS for sure.
Look at that. Another drone does go down. So everything's stifled a little bit for Solar here. Now, SOS, this is what we would consider a pretty late third base, but he's adding a second Stargate.
Stargate already?
Yeah, this is a good map to play Sky Toss on, too.
I thought maybe he wouldn't do this. Even though a lot of times when we see a Protoss just wall himself in entirely in general, it can usually mean that Sky tosses. There's a good chance of that, but I didn't think he was going to try to do it this time around. The Lynx try to deny that Nexus, but it's chased out, so that Nexus should get up. There shouldn't be another real opportunity for Zerg to just get in there and do damage. And now he's pulling Oracles.
Yeah. He wants to surprise and bring them all out at once. He already had the Phoenix out and chased back Overlords. We didn't see Overlord speed this game, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And so that means that this is not going to be scouted so well. But that was a second spore on the main base, wasn't it?
Yeah, do you think he just knows?
I think he does.
I think the lack of
the
lack
that
of
the Oracles
anything
are at
else.
home.
Yeah, and also just you don't see. He might have wanted to just fly around more with that Oracle.
It's like a very late third too. So what is he doing if he's not massing Oracles?
Well, also, you don't see any army here, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes what you don't see can lead you to understand what else the player's doing. But that's only one sport, the natural, right? And that's where these Oracles are headed to. Am I wrong, Artosis?
No, you're right. You are so right.
So right. It's
the Hydralisk Den is about to finish, so definitely a more standard comp coming out of Solar here.
Okay, here we go. This spore is going to be gone in no time. The Queens come up.
Good retreating on those drones, by the way. If he was any slower with that, a lot of drones could have gone down. Now just hinting down some of these Queens.
Whoa. Did he target the extractor there for a second? That was kind of funny.
Good micro by Solar, pulling back into that spore. So, I mean, this damage, it wasn't completely terrible, but he lost a Phoenix. He didn't get as much damage as he really wanted, obviously.
Yeah, and these Oracles, Zerg eventually gets an answer for them.
Yeah.
It's not like he makes 2 more Stargates and just keeps making these Oracles, and it's,
Well,
we finally solved it, ladies and gentlemen. PVZ is no longer an issue. It's not a...
I wish,
That's not, It's like all we had to do was just make Oracles the whole time? Okay.
Well, the thing is, every Zerg will be like, yeah, actually tasteless, but it's not the case. Okay, that's a lot of energy that he's having to use up here.
It's cool that he's getting rid of these Lings, but that's also less damage that he can do into the main later on. The Hydra count's already getting up. And now we have seen mass Oracles beat mass Hydras at a surprising rate.
Well, certainly that can be true. But, like, if you just wait until you have enough Hydras, they will beat the Oracles. Like, if you have max supply in both, guess which one wins? It's the Hydras by a million
as long
miles.
as you wait, if you wait for long enough. Now, of course, if they try to move out of their base with Hydras, then what do? You run inside their expansions and hit them. So in some ways, the Zerg is pinned. The Nexus is going to, actually, it's already finished up here at the 4th base, which is kind of cool for SOS. So SOS is really leveraging an advantage out of here and switching into 5 gateways, 6 gateways more that are being produced.
Oh, I love the wall he's making as well.
Great
That'll
wall
buy
of
time.
gateways.
Yeah, that buys a lot of time against Hydra-based attacks as well. They got to kill off some buildings and stuff. But, Solar's getting some decent scouting done still. Has a good amount of Hydras.
Just tags the Hydras. That's very helpful to have that covered so that you can see the Hydras if they try to leave with the rest of the army for a counterattack. We also have a Spire being made, but don't forget that Spire units can be answered by the Phoenixes if it's a Muta-switch.
But, Tasselcraft, what do you think about this Blink upgrade? I'm a little bit surprised, but...
I guess Blink is always handy later on. I don't know if it's going to help him against all these Hydras, though. Blink doesn't really do anything against Hydras, so... Let's see. He is still coming up here, though, and doing a lot of damage to these workers. This, again, 11 drones just massacred before the Hydras can get in here and do anything. And, again, re-tagging that as they come back.
He saw the Spire as well, so that's definitely very important, so you can get up a couple defensive cannons in middle lines. Yeah, that first group of Mutas, unless it's Supreme late game that you first see Mutas pop out, just a couple cannons can really slow them down. A 5th base, SOS just keeps making Nexuses. What a good strat.
Well, the Oracles are like the ultimate unit to keep you locked at home. It's kind of crazy. In fact, he's going to push. Look at this. I guess, Protoss has had more bases than Zerg this whole time, so I guess he actually does have momentum. Maybe a push just wins this.
I don't think he can break him. Like, he has a lot of force fields, sure.
I think, actually, man, I think he
so?
can. I might be wrong. I mean, this is, again, it's an SOS game. It's always weird and hard to cast, but,
yeah.
you know, if he has the right force fields, hits correctly, blinks forward, and then maybe the Oracles come in right after that.
Yeah,
as they're trading, maybe that actually works.
Yeah, the Oracles could actually tip this way into his favor. You're right about that. The Infestor's going to be popping out here. Pathogen Glance doesn't exist, so they won't actually be able to do too much yet.
Okay, he shaves off a few Hydras, not maybe as much as he would have wanted. Blinking over here to the side, and there come the Oracles as well.
Wow.
Too much damage coming down here.
Jeez.
SOS is a beast.
Seriously, this is crazy. Those Oracles getting on top of everything.
GG, wow.
That was brutal. Really super well done by SOS.
Those Oracles coming out like a swarm of bees and just killing everything. Solar's like, no, I'm allergic.
He's definitely allergic to that thing.
EpiPen, nicely done there by SOS. So we go to the final game between these two guys. This has been a kick-ass series. Tied up 2-2. SOS keeping it weird, keeping it out there.
Yeah.
Meta what? Meta who?
Oh my god. If SOS can win this, his BlizzCon dreams stay alive. Of course, Solar definitely could use this as well. He's in 9th place right now. So if he doesn't win here, he needs a sick performance at Super Tournament, and he needs some of the other players right around him not to have sick performances.
Going into Game 5, Newkirk Precinct. Are we going to see more of this Oracle play from SOS? Maybe. I think Solar sees what's happening, but he's struggling to deal with it.
Yeah.
Knowing is not everything. No. Execution is also very, very necessary. And of course, SOS unpredictable. Solar unable to play a standard game. Let's find out what happens. One of these guys moves on to the Final Four.
2017 Hot 6, GSL Season 3, Code S.
In the bottom left, in the blue, he is
Splice Solar.
Nice big crowd today, by the way.
Can't say I'm too surprised.
No.
Players like this playing. Our next match is going to be great, too. In the bottom right, in the red, he is
Generic Green Wings, SOS.
So if I could just jump in here, Artosis.
Yeah.
I really feel like this is going to be tricky for these two guys if it goes on to late game, because this map is very different from the other maps that we have. If we have them in that tech ladder where they're constantly trying to shift and develop, discarding the units that don't fit as you get further along. This map cuts in half very easily, and it's hard to attack around the other player. It's a smaller map.
Do you think it'll be double Stargate Oracle again?
Dude, I actually don't know. Maybe it is SOS from Belgium.
Wow.
Thank you for coming down. Yeah, Cucaracha.
Refuses to die. I think actually it will be the double Stargate Oracle again.
Okay.
It seems like SOS has a very good feel on how to use this build in multiple situations. And very specifically, on this map, Solar almost always goes for Swarm Hosts. It's really good on this map.
Oh, that's a good point.
He loves it here.
I forgot about that.
Oracles would basically stop him from doing that. Like, he'd kind of have to go into Hydra. Or, you know, I guess he could try Spire again. That did end up working out for him. But, yeah, I mean, I would like to see that again out of SOS. I've been hearing a lot about the new mass Oracle play. It's funny because we had that pop up, like, about a year ago. Like, I saw Haas do it. He was like beating like Dark and stuff on the Korean ladder with just using mass oracles. This was like
it's
over
so
a year ago, but this is way more refined what we're seeing.
This has happened all throughout RTS in any game. Is somebody's starting to do something a lot of times from a different server, and everybody's calling bullshit on it and saying this isn't good. It's not actually. It doesn't work, and don't try this. And this guy's a clown, and this is a joke. And then like a year or a year and a half later, suddenly somebody else who's maybe a little bit more refined figures it out.
Yeah.
And it's killing everybody. And everybody says, oh, that guy was right.
Yeah.
He was actually onto something. We should have taken him a little bit more seriously.
At the end of the day, we'll find out that Haas is actually everything he's ever done is the right thing.
Yeah, eventually everybody's playing like Haas.
What a world.
Yeah.
I'm sure people would appreciate that. But I love this aspect of StarCraft 2, the ever-changing strategies. It's just so dynamic in that regard.
It's truly special.
So, he's adding the extra gases. Does that second Stargate come down? Look, Shine's watching for it. Does he make it? No, just the third base, I guess. That's okay.
But does he get it later? Wait, did he get second Stargate in the last game before the third Nexus?
Yeah, he got it before the third Nexus.
Are you sure?
Game. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he sacrificed 2 Adepts to kill a bunch of drones, so I think it was like, it might have been a reactionary thing where he didn't have enough to hold the third Nexus so quickly, so he may as well have just made it. Could be. Robo, okay. That doesn't make oracles.
Now, let's also not forget that the looming threat alone of possibly encountering the oracles might also throw Solar off as well.
Solar got Overlord speed this game, so he should be able... Yeah, okay, he actually scouts exactly that it's a Robo in Twilight.
Okay, so we no longer have to worry about the uncertainty.
Well, this is where you
level.
cancel him.
Yeah,
Throw down
then you make 2 more Stargates, yes.
And then you realize you can't even
We're on the
support
same
that.
page.
All right, Roach Horn actually coming up right now, so maybe afraid of like Charge Zealot type of play. You know, when you bring in the Prism, start throwing around Charge Zealots. If you have only Lings against that, it's very, very difficult.
Can be strong on this map as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Zerg taking the cautionary expansion, the one in the upper left. Not the more aggressive expansion that's just to the right of his second base here. The Warp Prism is coming. We have 5 gateways coming up. Very easy for Protoss to come in with some Warp Prism harass here.
Yeah.
And that's, again, not an Observer, not an Immortal coming out of there. So we're about to see something pick up.
Well, the Roach Horn finishing, he should be able to make the, you know, that's the unit that you need is the Roach to actually make sure that this doesn't really do much against you. And, you know, once you hit a big amount, sometimes you can do a counterattack if they overextend it at all.
Sure.
And at that point, the third base could fall, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Second Prism is getting started.
Having 2 Prisms harassing on these expansion positions can be pretty problematic for the Zerg because the third and the main are far away enough from each other. Even with creep, you sometimes can't get over there in time. And I think the Oracle's going to come in here and try to hit the second while there's a warp in. Now this warp in's not going to work. He has to actually cancel this. This is...
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Charge is not done yet.
Oh, that did not help either.
This is not
This
the
is the
best
anti-timing here.
Yeah, this...
That was unfortunate. And it's going to finish 3 seconds after the Warp Prism leaves that base, so...
I mean, Charge definitely would have helped there, but he was still going to lose that.
Yeah, it still was a little bit futile. Making more Zealots over here. Is he going to try to hit this hatchery maybe up here at the top?
If he can split the forces up, and Solar does not split well, yeah, this definitely could occur. Okay, pulls those Zealots back. Solar is starting to split a lot. Let's not forget there's also an Oracle on the left-hand side, so that should be doing a little bit of damage here and there.
Well, I believe he just set he booby-trapped the minerals and froze a queen in a drone, actually.
Tasteless. That's a nice warp-in right there, getting on top of a lot of these roaches. Is he going to have enough to break through?
Does he have enough Ravagers to actually just hit this Warp Prism over here?
Yeah, next time it sieges up.
Okay. Yeah, he needs to be careful. It seems like things are happening slower than the Observer is even anticipating.
Yeah.
He's trying to get there, and it seems like that's what's a little bit more off. Whoa!
Oh, wow, he right-clicked one roach.
That was crazy. You
Yeah.
saw the Zealot actually run all the way around in a circle. Looks like he's going to get this queen. Not bad. Is this... I don't think this is going to slow him down enough, though.
He's doing like a little bit. Oh, no. Doesn't it feel like he's moving slow?
It does seem like it. Normally it's...
He got 5 kills with the Oracle during that, I guess. So maybe that's where it was.
Okay.
But okay, so he's starting Immortal production. Now, all those Zealots he made ended up dying. So even though he killed some roaches, killed some queens and stuff like that, his actual standing army is super soft right now.
But
it's
he also,
some sentries and like an Immortal.
He also has forced out enough roaches. Maybe if he's going for... There's a second robot that was made, right?
It's just about to
Oh,
finish,
I'm sorry. It's right there, on my screen. Excuse me. He's going to be having two
hard to see things on the screen.
two Robo Immortal.
Yeah.
Could end up countering that nicely if these Zealots can keep the Zerg player back at home.
Yeah.
There's no fourth base here for the Zerg, so SOS might have... this might still be working out for him despite...
Yeah.
It seemed like a little bit of a clumsy execution.
He just needs to keep him at home. Like, just buy time for himself at the moment. Throw him these prisms around as long as he doesn't lose them. As long as he's not warping in too many units, because he needs to make some at home as well. Then he can be okay. I'd love, more than anything in the world right now, just to see a Hydralisk stand go down. If you go Roach Hydra from here, like, SOS is going down the wrong path to beat that. You absolutely have to have lots of splash damage to win it. Now, this is scary.
Yeah, well, I mean, even though he has these sentries, the force field is going to be shut down easily with an army like this. He has 3 Immortals.
Well, this is a brutal set of force fields and overcharges.
He might have enough to just barely hang on.
Yeah.
Again, no 4th base here. Uh-oh. SOS needs to be a little bit more attentive. There are 2 more Immortals about to come out here. And these, the Corrosive Vials are connecting after they've already been utilized. The force fields have already been utilized here.
I think he has, yeah, okay, he has a Phoenix here so he can, like, do a lift. He has a Mothership Core that can add damage. Okay, here comes the Oracle. That adds damage as well. 5 Immortals, man, is no laughing matter when you've got a Roach-based army. SOS microing back at the moment.
Yeah, he's shimmying these Immortals pretty nicely. And again, he has just enough units to try to tank this in the front, just enough damage to be a distraction, just enough force fields to maybe hang on. The next Immortal comebacks, he's going to shovel that down over here to the bottom left.
The surface area there, very good for Solar, but the amount of Immortals is scary indeed.
And you know, the more he tries to feed into this with Roaches, the closer he's going to be to losing if it doesn't work out. I mean, the Immortals, as long as they're there, damage or no damage, they're still going to be firing. You know,
Solar's on 3 bases. He's only got 56 drones.
I think he might be all in with this. He's going to a Baneling's Nest. He's not all in. He's making a hatchery just now.
Yeah, but that's pretty late too, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, he might also just be making the hatchery because he has the money. And even
the Immortal count is getting out of control, though. That's for certain.
And I think he can actually just crab walk these Immortals across the map and possibly win.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do, guys. They do crab walks.
Yes, they certainly do.
If you want to walk like an Immortal, get your hands behind your back. You know, your belly pointed in the air. And yeah, I mean that should be right.
Okay.
I mean, what does he switch out of?
Well, from here, Solar needs Banelings. He knows that he's going into Baneling speed because, like, the Zealots are too good at tanking for this many Immortals. SOS, like, I think he kind of assumes that to attack now is a little bit foolish. Like, these units don't scale well, what Solar has. The Ravagers do fine, but, like, all these Roaches are not going to be really that great. So him just taking a 4th base, getting into some splash damage, I love it.
Okay, he's coming forward now. Hitting this Nexus. You know, this is one way to do it, man. Take the Nexus out, go back.
Yeah.
And just try to reconfigure your army with something that's a little bit more viable. And I think that, you know, really Solar taking advantage in a good tactical play, realizing those Immortals are really slow. He can punish his opponent for something like that. The War Prism here trying to just keep Solar honest. Now, even losing that next... Ooh.
Good try.
Even keeping that... that Nexus down, I think that SOS is still in okay shape. As I think that SOS has the ability to develop into a healthier late game composition.
Yeah. Like, this is a very old meta, this set of units that Solar has. Like, Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager. It's strong, but as SOS just adds Archons and adds Immortals and any upgrades that he can squeeze in, and especially if he can get a little bit of Psystorm, the Banelings are the next thing that's really scary for him, but he's already making Archons to kind of counter that.
Okay, he's coming in here. Protoss not at the ideal angle to try to defend this. Corrosive Vials coming down on the Nexus. Looks like he wants to force possibly a cancel, but now the engage is happening.
Good force field there. Blocks any Banelings from really connecting with his army. That is a lot of Immortals. This is a tough game on both sides, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is. And some of these Zealots warping in here to keep just some of that army back. You can see Solar looking for an opening. I don't believe Solar...
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Sick Vials. But now he's on 4 bases.
That's right. Oh, gonna get...
Oh my God!
Well, he's just hoping that SOS's screen is not over this when he needs to have this. And he takes it out, so we're going to see another one of those produced in a second here. The Warp Prism should be almost out of time for harassing. He can keep chucking corrosive biles over on this Nexus if he wants to.
Yeah, biles for days, no doubt.
It's funny, this obstruction over here at the top of our screen is really annoying for the Protoss. He can use it defensively, but he also can't quite get around to where his Nexus is to protect this area.
Yeah, the surface area that he's fighting with is not always the best, but he's holding on to this base, and he has that other base.
Oh, hold on. He's not going to actually attack into these banelings that are making. And if he pulls this off, he might be able to sandwich the army down here.
Yeah, and those banelings, I mean, even if any of them finish, the Archons are right there, so they are not going to be nearly as useful as
is this
he
game
wanted.
going to seesaw? He actually can go all the way across the map. It's 127 supply to 162.
Yeah, Solar, you know, he stayed on this unit comp. It looked promising.
And look at this. There's
first,
a Warp Prism here to reinforce.
Oh, jeez.
He was used to harass, but how convenient. My, oh my, Artie.
It's almost like he planned it.
Damn.
Oh, my God. That is an SOS victory. That's what that looks like.
That's it.
Holy crap, that's a lot of Immortals. 10 Immortals right now.
These are my letters.
Whoa.
SOS. La Cucaracha.
What a sick series that this was. Really well played on both sides. Solar still has a chance to get to BlizzCon. It depends not only on himself playing well during Super Tournament, but other players not performing both here and in Super Tournament. So, no guarantees there. SOS, on the other hand, he now awaits the winner of Stats Rogue. If he can beat the winner of Stats and Rogue, then he is starting to get a chance for BlizzCon. But this was the first step for it.
Nicely done. Wow, Solar, I feel for the guy, but you look at the way SOS plays, this guy is just such a genius. I believe we are going to be going to an interview shortly here with SOS to find out how he's feeling now that he is the first player to move on to the Final Four in this year's last season of the GSL Code S.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be feeling really relieved. He's in good shape. Can he make it to that finals again? And the thing is, yeah, his PvZ was really good tonight. So unless Rogue just Hulk smashes right through stats, then SOS should be feeling okay. And the thing is, I'm sure they help each other practice all the time. I'm sure he knows him inside out.
All right, we're going to get this interview translated for you guys.
김유진 선수입니다. 축하드립니다.
Okay, the first semi-finalist.
와, 정말 재밌는
Congratulations,
경기였습니다. 1위
Thank you.
차상 진출
It's very
소감
entertaining
어떠세요?
우선 준비는 진짜
How do you feel now?
열심히 잘해왔는데
네.
I really prepared
서로
hard.
긴장해서 그런지 게임이 좀 루즈해지더라고요. 그래도
네.
But I
다행히
guess
승자가
we were both really
될 것
nervous in the games.
같아서 좋아요.
네. 오늘 4세트 이전까지 다
So,
장기전이었죠. 말씀대로
you know, the games are a little bit
하셨는데
crazy or something like that. I'm glad though that I
준비를
made
하신
it.
그림 같았거든요.
요즘
So all those late game scenarios, it seems like you really
히드라가
prepared for that.
너무 세가지고 끝내기가 좀 힘들어가지고
네.
So says, well, recently, Baneling Hydra
네,
compositions are really hard to deal with.
그 추억의 광자포
So I
러시를
just went for late game
역시
instead of
운명을
trying to finish anyone early
보여주셨어요.
off.
그 세트 준비했던 그림은 뭐였나요?
우선
You showed a different build with that proxy photon
광자포 러시를
cannon.
성공하면
That cannon
웬만하면
rush,
이길 수
what
있는
about that?
상황을 만들 수 있었는데
네.
제가 그 수정탑을 하나 더 안 지어가지고
Well, if I go for the
거기서
cannon rush and
게임이
it
좀
succeeds,
별로 유리해
every time the games end as my
네.
victory.
자, 오늘
But it didn't work as I
그래도
expected that game.
다시 좋은 경기를 보여주시면서 4강에
And it
올라갔고
went
이제
really much
상대는
longer than I
이병렬 선수
expected that
혹은
game.
김대엽 선수거든요. 이참에 도움
So
받았던
you're in the top
이병렬
four.
선수 올라와서 팀 플레이는
And either
어때요?
Rogue or Stats will be facing you.
병렬이가 올라오면 좋긴 하지만
네.
어제 서로 그 말했거든요. 병렬이가 요즘 잘해가지고
He says if
제가
Rogue makes
올라갔으면
semifinals, I think that'll be great.
그래도
네.
같이 올라오면 한 명은 결승 갈 수
Since
있으니까
Rogue seems to be a really top-class circuit at the moment.
그래요?
It'll
이병렬
be a
선수는
very tough match
S급
against him.
선수예요?
But two Jin Air players,
그 원탑이라고 말하고
that means that one of us goes on to the
자신감이
finals.
넘치는
And that's great.
S급 적인 것 같아요.
그렇군요. 자, 그럼 S급
You think
이병렬
Rogue is
선수 지금
S-class,
경기 준비하고 계시거든요. 그런 이병렬 선수에게
He
한마디.
says, well, Rogue constantly tells me that, so I guess he's right.
그냥 열심히 해.
네, 열심히 해.
Any words for Rogue before his match?
자, 그럼 마음 편히 기다리시면
He says,
되겠습니다.
you played well
마지막으로
recently, so
4강전
just
가고
play as
드릴게요.
hard as you can.
우선 다 못한다 했는데 그래도 이렇게 4강까지 왔으니까
What's your determination for
못하는
the
실력으로
semifinals?
우승 한번 해보겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네,
lot of people
알겠습니다.
say I'm
다시 한번 4강
inconsistent,
진출 축하드립니다.
But even with inconsistent performances, I will do my
자,
best
이렇게
in the
기분 좋게
semifinals,
4강
and
진출에
SOS
성공해낸
runs away from
김민재
Gary.
선수 만나봤는데요.
As he's
이어서
finishing his
GSL
sentence, he
이벤트
starts to
안내해드리겠습니다.
walk
Yeah,
away
it's-
with the microphone. This is what is he doing?
It's like a cane comes out and hooks him like vaudeville and pulls him away. Well, SOS wins today, but can we really say we're that surprised? He always manages to do it. He always manages to wiggle his way into.
He's making his run at the end of the year, just like last year. But last year, he hurt me when he lost to Bien, and he didn't make it.
You're
Of course,
damaged goods now.
That made the greatest story we've ever seen in StarCraft, the story of Bien. So
It's
I guess
true.
I can't be too upset. But I would love to see SOS make it to BlizzCon personally.
Me
just
too.
Can he be a 3-time world champion? Can we just get something stupid like that to happen? No one else is even
I hope
at
so.
2. Could he have 3 times as many world championships as anyone else?
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
We'll see. We are going to remind you guys about the 7th anniversary of the GSL Code S. Yes, we have been doing this for that long. Longest standing esports show in English here. And I got to say, it's been a real treat to be part of it. We have an opportunity for you guys to interact with us here at AfreecaTV at the GSL Code S. That email that you saw there earlier, send us some photos, some nice words, and anything. I think we're going to compile that into something. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll be right back after this short break for our final match.
in touch with